the Friday edition. The no Jason Wilde, but it's a good day to be a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers edition of Wilde and Tausch. 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. The all-new ESPN Wisconsin app, live video streaming. No Twitter today, but Facebook and 2 YouTube channels.
Why is
for
there
you to
no
choose
Twitter?
from. Logistics behind the
That
scenes.
doesn't make why though.
Well, do you really want me to explain? Like, sometimes
Sorta, yeah.
the way
I
our
like-
video
I like
streaming software
Twitter.
works, we did an update in Madison, and it doesn't stream to Twitter, so we need our Milwaukee station to do that. But today they're doing a redo of their vMix program, so therefore we can't stream to Twitter.
Right. Fair enough.
You asked.
I did.
Wilde and Tausch, going to be one of those days. Yesterday, Dr. Denver Dan in the YouTube comments said we were crabby cakes yesterday.
No, I was crabby yesterday, and then hey Jason, what do you think of? Give us somebody that has shown up. Nobody. So yeah, it wasn't our. Hey, you have days like that some days.
We'll have less sleep and we'll be grumpy.
It was so bad, Jason said, I'm out tomorrow.
I think that's good. We had a little break. It might be good.
Except for that one segment. He's scheduled to join us at
Probably,
10:15 because that's what he does on his days off. Wilde and Tausch, no Jason Wilde today. I am Jesse Nelson. Normally, I'm the producer of the show. Today, I slide over to the host chair here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, where I am joined by the Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. I didn't know you were coming in today.
Surprise.
And driving down East Wash, I'm suddenly behind a massive Chevy Tahoe with the little Zimbrick Chevy decal. And I thought to myself, I could see a hat in the silhouette of the driver's seat. I said, I think that's old T that's driving in right in front of me. And sure enough, it was.
There you go. Here I am.
Saw you right down East Wash, right outside of that bus lane.
Yeah, the old bus lane. Yep. It's getting to be a smoother and easier drive every time we come down.
Riley Yauk, the star of the Jumbotron at AmFam Field.
Yeah, I had no idea that Riley was there until he texted me at the game on whatever day that was.
Riley is our
Wednesday,
producer today.
It was Wednesday.
Yep.
It is a pleasure for me to be in the presence of 2 stars of the big screen at American
Well,
Family
if you keep
Field.
working at some point, maybe you'll find a Jumbotron that will put you on.
Accommodate my presence
Something of that,
the
yes.
same way that it did both of you. Congrats on the big win, Riley, on the crazy cap shuffle. That was big for you the other
That
day.
could have been easier.
Thank you.
No, it was pretty easy.
It was the easiest crazy cap shuffle I've
and you
I've
have the whole
experienced.
crowd yelling at you.
No, I couldn't hear the crowd,
What
though.
do you mean you couldn't
I
hear
had
the
tunnel vision, tunnel
Well,
hearing.
okay.
I was locked in.
All right.
That was the thing that fans had the most to cheer about on Wednesday at American Family Field when the Brewers lost 6-2 to the Atlanta Braves. A little bit of a different story last night for the 27,000 plus who were in attendance at American Family Field. Little underwhelming, gotta admit. Hope for a larger crowd last night for the debut of The Miz, which did not disappoint. Jacob Miserowski on the mound. One of the best debuts we may ever see for a Milwaukee Brewers player and perhaps for a Wisconsin athlete. 5 shutout, no-hit innings.
Okay. So I think it's great that there's the excitement. I felt that even Wednesday, and I'm being honest, I did not hear much about Miz prior to this. I knew a little bit, but not the buzz. And you could tell just in talking to Jeff Levering and the fact that The Rock didn't know that he was pitching yet on that Thursday. And
That's Bill Schroeder, not Dwayne Johnson. Just so
I didn't
everybody
know
knows.
that was, So the excitement level was palpable even on Wednesday that this phenom was going to get an opportunity. And yes, it's great that he threw 5 no-hit. But the reason we're all excited, he's 6'7", live arm, and the stat that popped at me when I saw that last night was 100. He threw 13 pitches over 100 miles an hour.
14.
14.
14
I said over
pitches.
13.
You did.
Just to correct myself, I didn't realize Jason was going to correct me. From
Jordan Love will have a new
the golf
contract by
course today.
Thanksgiving.
So that's what we're excited about, and I think we shouldn't just lean into it and embrace it. And I think from a Brewers standpoint, you're always looking, and because the way we have to go about our business being in a small market with less revenue than some of the other teams, you have to hit on these guys. And last night, obviously, great start. I don't want to urinate in anybody's Cheerios because the sports is about optimism. It's about fun. It's also about heartbreak, and it's about, that's the beauty of it. You have to be able to deal with both. But for at least a night, awesome.
An amazing debut last night. One of the iconic debuts that I remember watching. So,
all right, what other iconic debuts are you putting in this?
I'm glad you asked, Tausch.
You bet.
Came prepared to host today's show, knowing Jason would be gone.
I just look at it this way. It's nice that you've prepared.
Thanks.
Giannis, nothing iconic about his debut.
Nope.
So Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you could look back. His debut was the Dallas second quarter of the Dallas Cowboys game in 2007. Obviously, the Monday night game against Minnesota. But I don't think there's anything iconic about that. Where are your iconic debuts?
I have cumulated Jesse Nelson's power rankings of Wisconsin sports debut performances.
Oh, this will be good.
Riley Yauk was in early, fresh off the Jumbotron, had some special music prepared. Checking in at number 5, Brett Favre against the Cincinnati Bengals. Comes in, game-winning drive, leads the Packers down the field, and the rest is history for a Hall of Fame career.
This list is going to be dynamite if that's 5, because that, to me, was going to be closer to the top.
Brett Favre in 1991, 2?
No, I think it was 92.
I think it was 92 because I was born. Yeah, 92, Brett Favre, checking in at number 5 on my power rankings of Wisconsin sports debut performances. Number 4, Damian Lillard of the Milwaukee Bucks, 39 points in a 118-117 win over the process. Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers.
I get it.
A Bucks franchise record for points in a debut.
I get it, but I can't get as excited about a guy that was voted in the top 75 at 34 or 5 years old with a debut against the Hornets on a
It was the Sixers, who at the time were still good.
On an October night, he's 35.
They had just traded. You're making the case why it is that significant.
You can't be debuting when you have 60,000 points and you're one of the top 75 players in the world.
That's exactly why it was such a cool performance, because they traded for him 6 weeks before. There was a late trade in the offseason. Yeah. He comes in, the anticipation of, oh my God, the Milwaukee Bucks, a franchise that when I was a kid I thought was going to move somewhere else, now has 2 of the best players maybe in NBA history on the roster, and they go to Philadelphia, win a 1-point game. Dame puts up 39 in the debut. It was an incredible debut performance.
It was such a great performance, I didn't even remember anything about it. A debut is yes, it's the first time he was in a Bucks uniform, so you can actually say debut, but it is welcome to the world, man. Here I am. That's, to me, what a sports debut is. Favre, yes, he was a drunk down in Atlanta, didn't even make the team picture, gets traded, makes that throw to Kitrick Taylor, and it is, bam, hey, world, here I am. Dame Lillard against Philly on a September night. Oh, here you go, boys. Here I am. I hit game winners in playoff games and led Rip City to conference finals. But here I am. It just doesn't
lived up
How
to
do
the
you
anticipation.
Put that ahead of Favre?
Lived up to the anticipation.
You can't. If you want to put this on the list, fine. I'm not going to. You can't put that ahead of Favre against the Bengals. Come on, man.
My list, not yours. I'm open to critiques. 844-770-3776.
Riley, do we agree that just can't happen?
Yeah, this just seems like a technicality.
I'm 2 items into the list.
This is Jesse trying to be smarter than everybody else.
I've got 3 more to go.
I remember, because I'm such a Bucks fan, I remember when... I remember when Dollar Dave had a big game on a September night. Come on, dude.
It was late October, first of all. I was at Trivia with Tier 1 Tyler watching the game, and we thought, wow, this is incredible. This guy's living up to everything we hoped it would be.
Even Tier 1 Tyler would say there's no way that's a better debut.
Yeah, we got to get Tier 1 Tyler to call in and give his perspective on this.
He might not remember that night, but it could be for other reasons. Number 3.
Oh, wow. Calling him a drunk.
Been some big night. There's been some big night for the Geese.
Kind of putting Tier 1 Tyler's business business on the street.
Power ranking debut performances
All right, so right
in Wisconsin
now I agree with
sports.
Favre. Favre should be number 1 ahead of even. Okay, continue.
So Brett Favre, number 5. Damian Lillard, number 4. Sal Frelick, number 3 on my list of all-time debut performances. Sal Frelick in 2023 on a Saturday night. 3 hits, 2 highlight reel catches, a go-ahead sac fly in the bottom of the 8th inning, a 4-3 win on national TV over the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Watched the game up north at the cabin up in Crivets. Everybody was dialed into this random Saturday night July baseball game. They kept panning over to his parents.
Was there no meat raffle?
Interviewing. It was after the meat raffle. They were interviewing his parents. His mom wasn't there because she was watching the dog at home. An iconic night in Brewers history, Sal Frelick's debut against the Atlanta Braves 2 years ago. You have that smug smirk on your face.
Smug. It's not smug. If this is the road you want to go down, so just wait a second. So you're putting Sal Frelick hitting 3 hits. And Sal Frelick's been a nice player ahead of Brett Favre. Okay. I mean, your list sucks, but it's interesting. I'm getting to learn. And everything revolves around where you were. Like, it's a where were you moment.
Sal Frelick is
I was at
not
Buckin'
even...
Honeys in Monona, and Lenny Rascal, he threw a disc at Alex Gravatt threw a great disc at the Ultimate Frisbee Championship. Okay, I hope that's number 1. Continue.
Just because I watch these games, remember where I was, that's why they're significant. Because it's where were
Jesse,
you moments.
I'm not even arguing with you on that. I'm saying great.
People remember where they were when Favre made his debut if they were conscious enough to do so. Riley wasn't born yet and wasn't for a long time. I remember where I was when Dame stepped on the floor for the first time with the Bucks. I remember where I was watching that Sal Frelick game. Riley, you're a Brewers guy. The Frelick game was great.
I am a Brewers guy, but I would still put Brett Favre above these two because I have seen a documentary with Favre's debut in it. I have not seen
a lot of documentaries.
Well, I've heard there's some things about that documentary.
That was Favre forever. That was back when he had good PR.
Sure, yes. All right. Number 5.
That's the other thing. All PR isn't good PR, by the way. That saying is so stupid. Whoever put that up, probably a PR person.
Number 5, Brett Favre. Number 4, Damian Lillard. Number 3, Sal Frelick. My list of the top Wisconsin sports debuts of all time. 844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Number 2, last night, The Miz. Jacob Miserowski, 5 no-hit innings. 8 of his first 14 pitches over 100 miles an hour. Does something only 9 players have done in Major League Baseball in 125 years. In a debut, 5 or more no-hit innings. First player in Brewers franchise history to do it. 6-0 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. Sweet beating the Cardinals. Sweet seeing the Miz on the mound. Electric night last night at American Family Field. Number 2 on my list of Wisconsin sports debuts. It was that good last night.
It was a fantastic showing, and obviously the problem is right now you're a total prisoner of the moment. And again, I said great. I am not a Cheerio urinator when it comes to this. I want you to be excited.
You kind of are, actually.
But when push comes to shove, this needs to get validated in order to make this, because if this is a one-hit wonder, that's great too. It's obviously not great for the Brewers, but it's still a great performance. But it has to be where it is validated, boop, 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 and he becomes a Paul Skenes type of pitcher.
Okay, first of all, it's Skenes. Second of all, I don't think this is going to be true, and I don't want this to be true. But let's say Miserowski stinks for the rest of his career, and this is it. It would further emphasize how special last night was.
You won't even remember his name.
No, it will emphasize even more how special last night was.
Something easy to remember, you won't even remember who he is. That's how it goes.
And that rhymes. Nicely done.
So it was a great performance, but he has to prove that he is the guy for a substantial amount of time to validate this debut.
I mean, Sal Frelick is what I was going to say about Sal Frelick. Like, sure, Brett Favre was a better player in his career as a Hall of Famer in every metric than Sal Frelick has been in a year and a half in the major leagues. understandable. But that one individual night, the storyline that went into it, the game the way it played out, baseball's different than football. I'm not looking at career-wise who had Hall of Fame careers and the Aaron Rodgers debut in Dallas and what that led to.
The
Favre
story.
debut and what it led to. I'm saying the individual moments. People talk about the Bengals game. People talk about the Sal Frelick debut. People are going to talk about last night.
I'm going to
The
be
Miz.
perfectly honest with you. I don't know of anyone else besides you that's talking about the Sal Frelick debut. I skew Packers Badgers, so I get it. But I would bet if you asked 10 people, hey, would you remember that Sal Frelick debut? They'd be like, no.
I love Sal Frelick, and I don't remember his
There you
debut.
go.
And number one on my list of Wisconsin sports debuts, Graham Mertz on a Friday night in the COVID season.
Now this I
that
can
was
get
good.
my head
That's
wrapped around. This one
See,
makes sense.
We put a bow on it. It all comes together in the end. 20 of 21, 248 yards, 5 touchdowns, 45-7 over Brett Bielema's Illinois Fighting Illini. Patrick Mahomes tweeting about him. It's on a Friday night, so it's a standalone game that everybody in the college football universe is watching. You were in the booth that night, Old T.
There was 7 people in the stadium, and 3 of us were standing right next to each other.
And what a night it was for Graham Mertz.
I'm not even going to argue that's higher than Favre, because I remember the excitement. I had to drive to a hockey tournament the next day, and everybody was like, we got our guy. This is the missing piece to us being great. And then a day later, he gets diagnosed with COVID, and the season's over.
And really, it's the downfall of Wisconsin football for the last 2 years.
That has been the pinnacle for a while. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think
That was
anybody could argue that.
The last great moment of Wisconsin
He
football.
was so good.
I think I can remember Ron Dane's debut back in '96. That was pretty phenomenal, but it was against a crappy team, and he ran for a ton of yards in the fourth quarter, and then he kept getting more and more opportunities. Brooks Bollinger in Ohio State. That debut was dynamite.
Good one. Yeah, we just had Brooks on the show a couple weeks ago.
So when you start looking at it, I think Graham Mertz's debut might be at the top of my list, too.
So again, my list of the Wisconsin sports debut power rankings. Number 5, Brett Favre against the Bengals.
That's way too low.
Number 4, Damian Lillard in the opener against the Sixers. 39 points, franchise record in a debut and a 1-point win.
No, it has no business being on any list.
Number 3, Sal Frelick on the Saturday night in July 2023.
The old meat raffle game. They call it the meat raffle game.
Number 2, The Miz last night at AmFam Field. And number 1, Graham Mertz on the COVID Friday night at Camp Randall Stadium against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Discuss. 844-770-3776.
What are we missing? Because those...
Yep.
Okay, I'm not putting Frelick in there. I'm not. I'm sure avid Brewer fans can, and I'm not going to poo-poo. Well, I am going to poo-poo Jesse's. But I think you have 3 really good ones on there. And I think you have 2 that are, nah.
Give us a call. Give us a text. Same number, 844-770-3776. The best debuts in Wisconsin sports history after The Miz. Jacob Miserowski puts one all-timer up last night at American Family Field. 5 no-hit innings in his major league debut on the mound in a 6-0 win for the Brewers over the rival Cardinals. Tausch, the window for a championship potentially back open now for the Brewers, thanks to the Miz's performance last night.
It's pretty bold, and it's pretty bold if you're trying to figure out what you're looking to do with windows. Time to upgrade those windows and doors, but you don't want to spend a fortune. I got good news for you. Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now and pay later. Wait to start making those payments for up to 2 years down the road. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends at the end of June, which this month is flying by. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
By the way, some Brewers breaking news this morning. Yesterday was his birthday. Aaron Savale, he got demoted to the bullpen, and he was not happy about it. He requested a trade. Request granted. Going to the White Sox. Happy birthday, Aaron Savale. Going to the White Sox. 844-770-3776. Best Wisconsin sports debuts in honor of The Miz. Jacob Miserowski last night. We'll get to your responses. I'm not looking forward to reviewing the commentary on my list so far that I'm seeing on the text line, but we'll do it next. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
If you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number 1 wide receiver.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Who are the top guys?
And
Ops. That is the problem.
No, I totally agree.
You have never called Xavier McKinney the wrong name.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hard-working team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
sounds like a list of what are Jesse's favorite Wisconsin moments he was alive for.
and where when I was up at a cabin or somewhere fun.
That's from Mike in the YouTube comments.
Mike ain't wrong on that.
It's rude. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason Wilde is scheduled to appear with us at 10:15. He'll share where he is, what he's doing today when he joins us.
Part of this is there has to be hype around the player. And I was thinking, John Tange, but it was not the debut. It wasn't the first game. It was that Arizona game where he put up all those points, had the foul, got fouled. Frank the Tank when he set the all-time scoring, and then that springboarded him. But that wasn't a debut. This is not the easiest category to try and remember and find someone that, hey, here I am, and I am going to make a big impact in your sporting life. That's what this is to me. And that's why the Favre one is still, even with Graham Mertz, I think I go Favre and then Mertzy's right behind it. And then the problem is the Mertzy thing never materialized after that. So I'm actually going to put Bollinger ahead of Mertz.
844-770-3776 is the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Liz is more.
He's in there. He's got to be.
There are some honorable mentions that are already rolling it. Now, I don't want to take any steam away. We have a few callers that are calling, so I don't want to take too much away from them, but there's a lot of good alternatives, honorable mentions for my list.
I'm trying to think. Robin Yount? I wasn't around.
I don't know what Yount did in his debut,
Is there another Brewer that, like Teddy Higuera, somebody that was like...
Well... let's go to the phones.
All right.
And there's a few that I want to bring up if our callers don't do so.
All right.
First up, Ron in Rome, 844-770-3776.
Pizza's average over there in Rome.
Not in Italy. He's in
you don't know where Ron is.
Yeah, I actually do.
Well, but Ron could travel, and he could have been over, maybe hitting Sicily. You never know. Ron, are you in Rome or are you in Rome?
I'm in Adams County, home of Sand Valley Gospel.
I love Adams County.
Of course you do.
Adams Friendship, one of the great hyphenated names. Mike Kosel-Sharon. Good battles with Kosel-Sharon. I don't know what his debut was. We'll have to ask. I know he debuted
Adams
with
Friendship,
Dick Bennett.
right up there with Pecatonica Argyle.
Another good one. Cambria Freeland.
We're going to do this again?
No, we're not. All right, Ron.
Why do I have a feeling Ron's going to get after me here? Ron, go for it.
I'm a pretty big Brewers fan, and I might have missed that game, but I didn't remember Sal Frelick's debut game. And I kept waiting to hear about Freddie Peralta's Mother's Day debut, where he struck out 13 batters, and he was totally electric. I'm like, oh, my God, finally got a decent pitcher. And I just remembered, like, yesterday was such an exciting game, and then I was like, oh, my God, he's going to put Freddie number one. And then it's like, whoop, no Freddie.
Freddie didn't even make the list.
Freddie didn't make my list, but that is a great one.
Ron, I mean, realistically, obviously the fact that Miz throws 100-plus is why we're all excited. And the potential of him being like that guy. But Peralta's debut was better than Miz's.
Well, it wasn't.
Well, no, I'm asking Ron. I'm not asking you. Ron.
Granted, Miz left the game.
Yes, I just looked it up to refresh my memory, and Peralta was the only fifth pitcher since 1908 to pitch out to strike out 13 batters in his debut.
Yep, he struck out
Miz
13.
It was a great debut. I'm a little worried about his durability because he's the same weight as me, and I'm 6'2", so he's pretty much a string bean.
Yeah, he's a wiry, some would describe him.
Spindly.
Yeah. Ron, thank you for the call. The Freddie Peralta
does Ron
one
have
great.
anyone? So Peralta's yours, Ron. Is that what I'm gleaning?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, the Freddie Peralta one was a really good one. But here's the thing. Why I put the Miz over Peralta. Number one, the Miz left with a no-hitter. So you get to say, dude threw 5 no-hit innings
13 out of
in his
15
debut.
strikeouts.
13 strikeouts was amazing for Freddie Peralta. But when you have to describe the game, which might be the argument for why Sal Frelick shouldn't be on the list.
One hit and 5 2/3 innings.
Yep,
so if they would have taken him out the same time as Miz, he would have had a no-hitter.
There you go.
Yeah, fastball Freddie was born that Mother's Day in Colorado. Thanks for the call, Ron. Appreciate it.
I think you make an argument. We're all hyped up today. Peralta had a better debut than Miz. He did.
He went longer, but
he struck out more. It's about strikeouts, bruh.
Saying the Miz had a no-hitter
like
in his
the Miz.
The Miz is an amazing.
You just want to say Miz.
Yes, it's an amazing. That's what part of what made like Sal Frelick. One of the things that makes it great is Sal.
Here's the deal: he's a towering dude, and you got Randy Johnson vibes, but that's the vibe. And he throws 102 miles an hour. If he threw 97, you'd be like, oh, it's great, he's out there. Freddie's numbers and what he did was a better debut than the Miz. Miz is dropping. Miz, by the time these calls and texts, Miz might not even be in my top 5.
The Miz did, so they started.
How many times is he going to say Miz on today's show?
We should get a counter running.
Oh, I know. That clicker, like I'm back at Wando's clicking how many people are in.
The Miz tracker.
Let me tell you something. The fire code has been broke with your Miz conversation.
The Miz
today.
last night, so they started tracking all the like advanced analytics in 2008. The Miz threw more pitches over 100 miles an hour by a Brewers starting pitcher last night than every Brewers starting pitcher since 2008 combined. That includes Greinke, Sabathia, all the great ones that have come through over a decade and a half, almost 2 decades of Brewers starting pitchers. He did it all by himself last night.
It's awesome, but Peralta's debut was better.
They call him Fastball Freddy, and he doesn't touch the gun the way that the Miz does.
But he strikes out more people.
844-770.
Freddie's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and they
Miz
call him
has got one
Fastball
game.
Freddy because he throws a ton of fastballs. He's increased his mix over the past few years, but he threw like 85% fastballs. That's why they call him Fastball
might
Freddy.
need a rebrand with the Miz.
Increasing that mix. I like that. Good drop.
844-770-3776.
Now let's get that V-mix going so we can get back up on Twitter. That would be even a better changing up the mix.
Tristan in Green Bay, you're up next on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talking Text Line. Power rankings of the best Wisconsin sports debuts of all time. What do you got?
Hey, how's it going? By the way, the Graham Mertz debut, something that went crazy that totally misled a lot of Badger fans. But anyways, I would like to, people could say it's recency biased, and I'm super biased because I'm just a huge Packers fan, and that's what I'm dedicated to. But the Jordan Love debut against the Chicago Bears Week 1 was one of my favorite games I've ever seen. Obviously dominating the Bears 38-20. Jordan Love was 15 for 27, 245 passing, 3 touchdowns, and even a passer rating of 123.2. There was a lot of uncertainty coming into this game, and Bears were talking a lot of smack, and it was nothing short of satisfying. And it's just like, it was a big question mark. Rodgers passing the torch. Can Jordan Love live up to that hype? And it's certainly that. I mean, that was one of the most exciting seasons because I don't think anyone expected the Packers to do that at all.
Yeah, Tristan. Here's the thing with Jordan Love. His first real moment that I remember, and I might even forget what team it was. I think it was New Orleans when they had they were down 18-0. Is that right, Jesse? It was New Orleans or the Falcons.
They were down 17-0, and they won 18-17.
Yeah. And when Jordan brought him back, if that could have been his debut, I would be putting that top of the list. But because they handled the Bears as smoothly and as easily as they did, I can't disagree with anything you're saying. Jordan had a lot of pressure on him. He went out and did what he needed to do. He was Clark Kent that day, just plugged along and got it done. But his reel to me, whoa, here we go. Coming back and winning that game at Lambeau when everybody thought it was over and you stunk most of the day, that led me to think we got something here.
Thanks for the call, Tristan.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I totally agree.
844.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, our pleasure. 844-770-3776 is the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talking Text Line. Do I smell a poll question?
I don't know. I think it's more of an open-ended.
Well, here's the question I'm going to ask you, though. Because Tristan brings up Jordan Love. Brett Favre's on my list. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. You were on the team when Aaron Rodgers made his debut.
Is by far the best.
By far? Not even worth the
close.
conversation?
No.
Because statistically, I think
it's
Jordan Love's debut would be the
moments.
best.
It's about memories, and we'll always remember. Who would have ever remembered Kittrick Taylor? Nobody. If Don Mikowski makes that pass, nobody's even – I don't think – no offense to Kittrick, but that's just the reality of the world. Every Packer fan knows that name and remembers that moment. That is part of this whole debut, and I don't know if there's going to be some moments. The moment last night was did Miz get a liner off of his leg or what exactly? Twisted his ankle? What?
So he had cramping, and he's going to be fine. He said after the game he's fine. He just had a little cramp going on in the leg, and when he was walking back onto the mound
threw too hard. Maybe should have had a little more of a mix.
When he was walking back onto the mound with the cramp, he kind of rolled his ankle, and it like nothing. It wasn't bad. Like it looked awkward it looked very unathletic, honestly, because he's so lanky. It just looked like he was stumbling around a little bit like an ostrich. But he ended up being totally fine, so he's good to go. No concern after the game. He just was a little embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something we're missing, and that's where I like the calls and the text, because this is fun. I still think the Favre to Kittrick from just a memory, and because debut makes me feel a great performance, but wow, am I excited to watch what's next. What do we have? And obviously Favre gave us 16 years in a championship. You can say Jordan Love is, progressing. Aaron Rodgers, obviously, his debut against the Vikings, great win Monday night, but I just think it's going to be tough to unseat Favre, even like the Graham Mertz part of it. But after that, that was the pinnacle. You don't want your debut to be the pinnacle.
You don't, but it does make the debut that much more meaningful when it is the pinnacle. That's the argument I would make on that side. 844-770-3776. Plenty more responses to get to on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. List is more. We'll also check the YouTube comments, the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed and Facebook page. Keep them coming. 844-770-3776. Tausch, we had a pretty great debut at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford last month, and we get to do it again next week.
We do indeed, and I have a little something I'm going to throw down when we get down to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. It features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, we grabbed lunch. Yeah, the three of us grabbed lunch. We had a heck of a lunch down there.
That was our crew
Yeah, look at this
Riley and I.
We had all kinds, and we had different palates, so we needed diverse dining options. I really want to try the UU Noodle Bar. You got street tacos. You got bricked Italian kitchen. And, of course, the Council Oak steak and seafood. Hard Rock Live Entertainment Venue has 23,000 square feet of premium concert and event space, I believe. That's where Terry Bradshaw is going to be. So head on down there for that. Head on down, a premier entertainment destination, and it's less than an hour?
Less than an hour.
From the Dane County area, right off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
I think my dad and I are actually going to go see Terry Bradshaw down there, so we'll see if I can get that exclusive interview for Wilde and Tausch.
I would think that there'd be I bet you he'll rip Rodgers to shreds.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I know you are.
Looking forward to it. Terry Bradshaw coming up in late June. More of your responses, critiquing and adding to my power rankings of the best Wisconsin sports debuts in honor of The Miz on the mound last night for the Milwaukee Brewers. 844-770-3776. More of your responses next on Wilde and Tausch.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
Shohei Ohtani goes to the second deck.
The Los Angeles Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, "Hey, how'd you pull this off?" Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
My name is Jake Huser. I was Bucky from 2021 to 2024, and my favorite memory of being Bucky was winning a national championship with both volleyball in 2021 and women's hockey in 2023.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fly to right. Frelick is there. Dives! He caught it! He's all over the place.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Dancing on the edge, got to take it too far. Messing with my head, how I'm missing your eye. If you wake up in your bed, alone in the dark, I'm sorry. Gotta leave before you love me. Leave before you love me. Leave before you love me.
Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. Jason's going to join us at 10:15. By the way, Wayne Laravee scheduled to appear in the 11 o'clock hour this morning, talking Packers with the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Laravee. So we will get to some Packers coming up, but this kind of encompasses everything. Best debuts in Wisconsin sports history. I have accumulated my list, my power rankings, much maligned based on the feedback we've received so far. Brett Favre, number 5. Damian Lillard, number 4. Sal Frelick, number 3. The Miz last night, number 2.
Sal Frelick.
And Graham Mertz in 2020, number 1. So a couple of things real quick. So I was wrong about one component of the Graham Mertz debut game. Brett Bielema was not the head coach of Illinois for that game in 2020.
You said he was the coach of Illinois.
I thought that part of what made that lore that much better was it was Bielema's first time back at Camp Randall. It was not. That was Lovie Smith, who got fired at the end of that season. Bielema's first game was a much different tune in 2022 when Illinois came back to Camp Randall. 844-770-3776. That still doesn't take away from Graham Mertz being number 1 on my list. That was such an electric night. When you got Patrick Mahomes tweeting about how good you're looking, like Wisconsin football, that just was another level that night at Camp Randall, even with no fans in the stands. Want to get more of your responses, more of your additions? Anybody we're missing from our lists here of the best Wisconsin sports debuts? 844-770-3776. I'm not sure why we put the signal up for this guy to call in, but
you called him a drunk. I mean, that's part of it.
Come to trivia one night, and it's been a minute, but you'd see. Tier 1 Tyler, welcome, buddy. Thanks for the golf invite next Wednesday. Appreciate that. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I actually got some insight from the team. They want you to bring your A game next Wednesday. So.
Oh, as opposed to all the other times where it didn't matter if I brought my A game. That's good.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out on the air just because, we're just throwing things out there, slandering people's names.
Yeah, Tyler, you're tier 1 for me.
Do you?
And Jesse was getting after you. He would make me think that you are just, you can't stay, like, he basically made you out like Otis the town drunk.
I said do you remember being at trivia for Damian Lillard's debut, 39 points, 1 point win over the Sixers? We were at our spot, the Golden Geese, playing trivia that night. Do you remember where we were?
100%. I exactly remember, but because I wasn't drunk.
Okay. All right, tier 1. So you heard Jesse's list. Who are we missing off of that list?
Well, I will agree with you, Tausch. The Sal Frelick thing, man, that is so overhyped. And the Brett Favre by far is number 1.
Yes,
in my opinion, in regards to this.
Yep.
Now, I will say, I think Miz had the chance to be really high on this list, but 5 innings is so small. I mean, like
5 no-hit innings, 14 pitches over 100.
Tyler, Peralta's ahead, right, of him right now as we sit here?
See, I remember Peralta on Mother's Day. Like, if you're thinking from Brewers lore, he did just as good, and I think he went better, and he looked better. And you're like, holy crap. Like, you expect this from him eventually, right? I did not expect Freddie Peralta. He came out of nowhere and did that. So I was just about to bring that. I thought that for sure was way better than him. So
yes.
I don't know, Jesse. I think you might need to run that by people before just putting those things out into the air.
I felt pretty good about my list.
I couldn't agree more. And Tyler should be your sounding board on this.
Well,
yeah. I'm the voice of reason, Yes. My trivia questions are awesome.
Trivia's good.
No
Your
errors
bubblers
ever.
are great. Tyler's an all-timer.
If Tyler's the voice of reason, we know we're in trouble.
How many mimosas did you have at that brunch since you're putting all of his business on the street?
I don't know if I'm a mimosa guy. I don't know about tier 1 Tyler.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm a Bloody Mary type of guy.
Yeah, he's a bloody guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll see you at golf next week. Thanks for the call. Oh, you're the one who's out. I'm subbing in for you.
Oh, no. I'm golfing today. I'm going to golf outing today.
Okay. I think we're good here.
Tier 1 Tyler.
What else are you doing this weekend, Tyler? I hit a meat raffle. Jesse, do you want to go grab? All right.
844-770-3776. Let's check some of the texts that are coming in on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin. You asked for them. Just remember that. Mark in Eagan, Minnesota has 2 that he'd like to nominate here. First, James Lofton's home debut. 3 receptions, 107 yards, and 3 touchdown catches.
I'll go along. I don't recall it, but James Lofton, obviously great career in Green Bay, and obviously, he went on and played at Buffalo and some other places. That's a pretty doggone good debut.
Mark also adds, honorable mention, my brother Eric, 1983 high school baseball, St. Croix Falls, complete game win against Glenwood City. Senior year, hadn't played since Little League.
Glenwood City can play now. That's an operation up there, so I give him credit. That's good
you
stuff.
You say complete game in your debut. No, not that big a deal, but you do it against Glenwood City.
If you're going to do it against Glenwood City, that's nothing to sniff at.
More of the responses coming in. Several people pointing out the Freddie Peralta debut. So we won't give credit to any individual saying that one because that one is definitely up there. And it also, we say prisoner of the moment because of the Miz last night, but they were comparing him to Peralta's debut last night on the broadcast. So I think that's fresh in a lot of people's minds. Have a text here from unnamed 818 area code. Not sure where that is. We'll have to check. Remember, if you're texting us, give us your name and where you're texting from if you haven't done that in a while so we can make sure we give you proper credit on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin
that
text
is
line.
the San Fernando Valley region of Los Angeles County, California.
All right. Out west. Thanks for tuning in out west. Even if we're allowing seasoned players in their 30s to be considered a debut, how about Brandon McManus's game-winning 45-yard kick last year?
That's not bad.
In his debut. And I did think of McManus when I was putting my list together. Now, again, prisoner of the moment.
Sure.
he only made the one field goal, I believe, in the game. It was the game winner.
37.
Yeah, and he's won a Super Bowl. But good debut for Brandon McManus last year with the Green Bay Packers. I will put that up there.
All
right. Ian and East Troy. Now this is where it starts to get a little dicey. Not a performance debut, but Ben Sheets coming out with his gold medal was an iconic moment in Brewers history. Before he had even taken the mound, they just celebrated in 2000 that he had won the gold medal and he was a top prospect coming up, and they acknowledged him at County Stadium. That was pretty cool. I will agree with that. 844-770-3776. Who's Sal Frelick? Really? Is one of the texts that came in. Josh in Heartland on the text line said, we have him on the phone, actually. Called in.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to read your text, Josh, but why don't you just tell us? Josh in Heartland, welcome to Wilde and Tausch.
Good morning, gentlemen. Been a minute. Good to hear from you.
We miss you. We miss you, Josh.
Yeah. How's your off season going?
Tausch, if you're not buying mulligans and using them on the green, you're not trying to win in charity golf outs.
Let me tell you something.
That's just
Josh. I was at a golf event last night, and a lot of listeners, fans of our show, and they all were thinking, "What, Jesse and Jason? Did they ever play golf? And have they ever been to a charity event?" I am not an absolutist. I don't know of anybody that has done an event that has sided with Jesse or Jason. None.
Every golf outing. Now, granted, I haven't golfed as much as you, but every golf outing I've been in, there have been rules about where you can use the mulligans, and you can't use them putting.
How many have you been to?
Dozen.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
it
Josh.
happens,
Sorry.
but even in those, when they say you can't use them on the greens, there are times when we'll use it on the fringe. So we can take a mulligan from putting from the fringe
smart.
because it's not on the green.
Savvy.
That still seems IP.
Savvy.
Use them off the tee box, and that's all you should be using the mulligans.
I agree with Josh. All right, Joshy,
All
what
that
do you got?
Said,
what are we thinking here?
All that being said, first of all, I got to add CeCe Sabathia's debut. His numbers weren't necessarily as elite, but the hype going into that was a major, major deal. I also, one thing that Jesse, I think, failed to mention in regards to Miserowski's debut, only 8 other pitchers since the dawn of time have done that. Have gone 5 no-hit innings in their major league debut.
If you could be one of 10 of a Dawn of Time reference, you know what? If that's the case, I got to move Miz up. A Dawn of Time reference is pretty strong.
Baseball history is one way to frame it. The Dawn of Time is a lot better way to frame that. You're right, Josh. Much better.
And now, granted, I was at this game, and I was hyped for Sal Frelick because I'm a Brewers team head, and he had hit all the way through the minors, and we were struggling against the Braves and offensively that year. But Sal's debut was unbelievable at the ballpark.
Wow, so you're on board with Jesse.
A Sal Frelick supporter.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Yep. He single-handedly beat the Braves that day, and he might have peaked that day too. But
it's going to be an all-star this year. What are you talking about?
Wait, Tausch, did Jesse ever tell you that in Game 3 in the playoff series last year, I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, and who walks in and sits 2 seats down from me but Jesse Nelson and Tier 1 Tyler?
Is that right?
Yeah,
you did not leave. You did not tell us.
Lost in the way that game played out. Totally forgot to ever bring up that, yes, we sat up in the 4th level. Tier 1 Tyler and I bought tickets at the last minute to go to that Game 3 against the Mets. We go to sit down. Look who's right there, a couple of seats down from us. Josh and Heartland.
Blessed.
Unreal.
I think you could say blessed would be. Blessed for you,
And
cursed for Josh.
The couple in between us were like, hey, you guys know each other. Do you want to switch? I was like, it's all right.
Strange. They asked me, and I said the same thing.
You're a great buffer. Thank you very much.
Josh, good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Last thing, Tausch.
Yep.
I'm excited to dive into your MLB realignment idea. I'll be tuning in at the 11 o'clock hour to hear all about it.
Oh,
I love you guys.
Joshy. Josh is the best.
You have an MLB realignment idea?
I've already put it out there.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
You go off a payroll, and you break it off into 2 different brackets, and then you have the teams go on, and you level the playing field a little bit with some bracketology. I think it's perfect. What do you mean,
I question that.
Why would you question it?
Like, why would we dive further into you've presented that idea?
Yep. Josh asked for it. I didn't bring it up. It's not on the show sheet. Josh asked. Josh has been a legend on this show for a long time. So I don't know if we'll get to it at 11, but it's definitely something that I've talked about.
Well, Wayne Laravee is scheduled to appear at 11. So
if Wayne calls in, then we won't do it. But if he doesn't, maybe I will break that down.
844-770-3776. Still have some YouTube comments to look into. Still have a couple of other debuts that have been popularly mentioned on the text line, on the YouTube comments, and everywhere else that we want to talk about in honor of Jacob Miserowski's Major League debut last night. 5 no-hit innings, only 8 other pitchers since the dawn of time have done that in their Major League debuts.
Dawn of time is pretty good.
Safe to say Brewers fans dreaming fearlessly about what the future holds for Jacob Miserowski.
Well, American Family Insurance, since the dawn of time of Wilde and Tausch, has been a proud partner, and for almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. All so you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. With American Family Insurance, get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Reviewing more of the great debuts in Wisconsin sports history, Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch continues next.
It's a showdown in the National League West. The San Diego Padres at the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Saturday is game day, yeah.
Coverage begins Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
Mark Toscher here, and even though it's Friday the 13th, I'm still feeling good heading into Father's Day weekend on this Feel Good Friday, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Stick around as we share some of our favorite feel-good stories of the week to close out today's show and to start the weekend right. This weekend may be for dads, but good luck trying to get out of an upcoming paint project any other weekend of the year. Instead of trying to take on that burden yourself, get started now by trusting the pro painters at Home and Lindsay Paints. Get connected with the pro painter best for what your project calls for by stopping into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location. And remember, from summer heat to winter blizzards, Home and Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why it's truly Wisconsin's best paint. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people. Check them out at homeandlindsay.com. And stick around to celebrate Feel Good Friday on Friday the 13th. Coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A Wisconsin reunion in the Steel City. Former Badger Nick Herbig now teammates with former Packer Aaron Rodgers. While on the other side of the ball, Herbig expressing his excitement to be in the same locker room as the 4-time MVP, audio courtesy DK Pittsburgh Sports.
You'd be lying if you said it don't feel a little different. You know, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's a 4-time MVP. He won a Super Bowl. He's done at the highest level. He's seen the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. So just having a guy like that with his experience, even though like I'm not a quarterback, you know, just having a guy like that around the team is awesome.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities. Plus, membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day.
Tausch can't be more wrong.
Oh, I like that.
From a 414, again, give us your name and where you're texting from on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk text line.
If they can't put a name on it. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think I am.
Sal Frelick's Major League debut is one of the greatest debuts in baseball history.
Yeah, that seems very bold. Very bold. But, again, man, I'm not sitting here telling you I enjoy the Brewers. I want them to win a world championship. Hit home runs at their stadiums. It's no big deal.
You and Prince Fielder.
I can't sit here and tell you that Sal Frelick debut wasn't awesome. I just don't. It's not in my head like it is in yours. That's all.
So, again, my list of the best Wisconsin sports debuts. Number 5, Brett Favre. Number 4, Damian Lillard. Number 3, Sal Frelick. Number 2, Jacob Miserowski, The Miz, last night. And number 1, Graham Mertz. That's my list. It's been much maligned so
Freddie
far.
Peralta's nowhere to be found on that.
Curious.
And he's had a, 6 or 7 year run with the Brewers. That's been pretty
fantastic.
Doggone good.
And think about the rotation. Let's take away this because we're going to get back to some of the responses here before Jason joins us at 10:15 from wherever he is to talk Green Bay Packers day 3 of minicamp, which was very riveting yesterday. So what this means for the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers, suddenly Freddie Peralta and The Miz, if that's your 1-2 in the rotation, and Brandon Woodruff at some point is able to get back and be healthy in that rotation, and if Nestor Cortez is able to get healthy in time for a potential postseason run, if they can make a trade at the deadline, get a bat left side of the infield, they're in good shape to make a run.
I just heard you use the term if 4 times.
Well, that's baseball.
No,
everything's if in baseball.
Let me tell you something. I don't have any ifs about the Yankees, Dodgers. I don't have any ifs. No ifs. I don't even have any ifs about the Cubs.
Well, let's see how that goes when the Brewers play them next week.
The Cubs just need pitching. If they get pitching, they're going to be a really scary team.
Okay.
It's awesome, and we heard Jeff Passan when he joined us last year. He said how great the Brewers organization is. And that wasn't the case a decade ago or maybe even 6-7 years ago. But they've become one of the best organizations in baseball, top to bottom, at developing talent and being able to identify great talent.
Murph's debut should be looked at in a really positive.
Murph's debut was fantastic with the Reese Hoskins fight with the Phillies or the Mets last year.
You should have seen Jesse squirming when The Rock was with us. He was squirming.
Did you mention it? Unfortunately, I missed that part of the show.
We brought it all up, and Jesse was backpedaling.
Yeah.
Like the other day when I was at the golf course, and there was that beep, 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 the garbage truck backing up. Jesse was doing that probably times 10, and he was getting a little annoyed.
Oh, I love Pat Murphy.
Yeah, no,
He's
Pat
the greatest
Murphy's
manager
good.
of all time.
I wasn't saying, but I was saying.
I have never said I want Pat Murphy to be fired.
But you
I've
never
never
said
said I don't
didn't.
think Pat Murphy is. I simply have
You should have
presented
saw
my
the-
opinions exactly as I
You should have
presented
saw
them
the
at
look
Pablo's
of
birthday bash.
disgust on The Rock's face. He was taken aback. A matter of fact, I would say he was aghast.
Aghast. Great
That
word.
happened.
844-770-3776. You know what? I don't want to talk about that anymore because I want to focus on this list and not talk about my critique of Pat Murphy, which is unwarranted and not something that ever needs to come up in the score of talking about the Milwaukee Brewers
I
ever
wonder
again.
what your dad would say is the best debut since he was an usher for so long. What was that? Would he put Sal Frelick in his deal?
I know he thinks highly of this night. It happened to be the first night he worked at the ballpark. But I don't know how you would quantify this in the scope of debuts. What about, at the time, Miller Park's debut? Because that night, the president throws out the first pitch. Richie Sexson hits a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to beat the Cincinnati Reds. The stadium's full to the brim. This thing that had been in the making forever. The roof, I think they did the opening. It was in April, so I think it was closed. But they did the opening close
like an
show
oyster.
afterward.
Cool. Like an oyster.
The AmFam clam.
So the.
That's what they're calling it these days.
Is that what they're calling it?
Can we count the stadium's debut as one of the great debuts?
Hey, man, this is what's beautiful about this list. You count whatever you want, man.
I don't remember Fiserv Forum's debut, but we know that was, they won a championship shortly after moving into the building, so that was significant.
Sure.
One Brewers name that's been popping up on the talk and text line a couple times, Steve Woodard. He outdueled Roger Clemens in a 1-0 Brewers win.
Woody.
12 Ks.
Woodster.
I did see that one here. Austin and Greenfield. Steve Woodard, 1-0 shutout against the Blue Jays. Roger Clemens, 12 Ks in 8 innings.
I just love when it brings back the memories for people. I love it. I think it's a fun little exercise in what sticks in your head as a Wisconsin sports fan.
We will get to more of them coming up next. Again, the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. Liz is more, plus Jason Wilde scheduled to appear in the 10 o'clock hour. Tausch, it was a great debut, and we first told you earlier this year about UW Credit Union.
Indeed, and we just are going through Lou Alcindor to Giannis to Sal Frelick to The Miz. For every stage of
Feel
life.
a little sarcastic there.
UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, Tausch, why'd you join UW Credit Union? Why is it to keep your banking local? Of course. Member first service? Absolutely. But I love great perks like early payday. Love that. But I just love Bucky. Can't say no to that little rascal. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. FanDuel will make you do crazy things, but man, does this make sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
More of your responses. The great debuts in Wisconsin sports history in honor of The Miz last night. That's coming up next. 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. My initial Sports Center script said hard to have a much better debut than Jacob Miserowski did last night, but I think we proved it is very possible to have a better debut than he did for the Brewers, even though he did go 5 no-hit innings and touched over 100 miles an hour 14 separate times, which is good for 5th best in a debut in MLB history, or the dawn of time, whichever you prefer. He exited during his first batter in the 5th inning after a brief injury scare with a twisted ankle, but him and the Brewers confirmed post-game it was just a cramp. He will make his next start. The Brewers kept the Cardinals scoreless the rest of the game and went on to win 6-0, leapfrogging St. Louis into second place in the NL Central. Series continues tonight against the Cards. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10 p.m. Central, with pregame coverage beginning at 6:35 right here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch with Jesse and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Hour of Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today, except for that one segment coming up next when Jason Wilde will join us. He'll tell you all about where he is, what he's got going on today, and why he's not able to be part of the majority of today's show, but we're looking forward, as always, to hearing from Jason when he is able to join us. In the meantime, our big topic of the day that we've been curating your responses on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, less is more, in honor of the Miz, Jacob Miserowski, last night with 5 no-hit innings on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers, becomes just the 9th Major League pitcher since the dawn of time to go at least 5 innings, no hits in his Major League debut. Tausch thinks that's not even good enough to be a top 5 debut all time.
No, I think for what we saw, it's awesome, and I think it's exciting, and we're all fired up to see more of it. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of storylines. You could probably put him, for as excited as I was, what we watched with Graham Mertz on that Friday night in an empty stadium. That was the pinnacle. I'm just hoping for the Miz and for Brewers fans, that was not the pinnacle last night. I don't think it will be.
Again, my list has been much ridiculed. That's what started this entire conversation. I have Brett Favre, number 5, Damian Lillard, number 4, 39 points, most ever in a Bucs
Lillard,
debut.
nobody has brought that up. At least Sal Frelick, you've had some people defending you.
Sal is number 3 on my list from 2 years ago. Jacob Miserowski last night, number 2, and Graham Mertz in the empty stadium, number 1. One of the responses that's come up several times on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line.
I got one. Just wait a second.
Okay, what do you got?
I forgot about this, and I think this is going to go to the top of Wisconsin. Now, you're going to think that this isn't Wisconsin, but it is.
Huh?
Do you know where Tiger Blanken Woods started his professional career?
1996 at the Greater Milwaukee Open.
That is the greatest debut when you start looking at, he is probably, I don't know where Jack Nicklaus started his career. You can go back in the archives, find that. I don't know. But the greatest golfer and one of the most iconic athletes in my lifetime is Tiger, and he did that here in our state.
And he won that tournament in his debut,
He had a hole-in-one in that tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're beating that.
Not bad.
I don't know. And the tournament ain't even left. The tournament's gone.
So how do you rank that compared to the Wisconsin, like Brett Favre's debut, Graham Mertz's debut as the starting quarterback?
If we're just banking on debuts, and then if you want to add that into the longevity and the impact of a career, I mean, it's him and Favre right there. I think Tiger, obviously, in the sport of golf, more iconic than Brett in the sport of football. But from a Wisconsin standpoint, Brett would win. But the fact that this happened in Milwaukee with one of the greatest golfers of all time and what he did, I don't know if he won the tournament. I don't think he won the tournament. I think you can Google that.
I'll double check.
Pretty sure he didn't win it, but I'm 90% sure he had a hole-in-one. And that springboarded him into getting his tour card and doing everything that he ended up doing. And it was right here in the great old state of Wisconsin.
He finished tied for 60th at the GMO that year.
Did he have a hole-in-one, though?
He did have a hole-in-one. He shot 7 under for the tournament. His first ever hole-in-one as a pro, and he earned himself $2,544 for finishing tied for 60th.
I think that goes to the top of the list for me.
He finished tied for 60th.
Moments.
Uh-huh.
Springboard. Debut.
844-770-3776. Jason Wilde coming up next. Let's quickly go to Jean in Sun Prairie. Jean always brings it when she calls in. Jean, welcome back to Wilde and Tausch. What you got for us?
Oh, gentlemen, we all have such short memories.
Uh-oh.
Let me take you back to Eric Heiden in the Lake Placid Olympics in 1980.
Oh, let's
Eric
hear about
Heiden
it.
won every single event in speed skating, starting at the sprints, going through all the longer races. He won 5 gold medals. No one has ever equaled that accomplishment. He's a Madison kid. He was world famous after that. And what an incredible legacy for a kid that grew up skating in ponds in Madison.
Quick question, Gene. Was that his debut, though?
I think that was the first Olympics he participated in.
So does
He
that?
was, I think,
Yeah, for Olympic athletes, I think
okay.
the Olympics
So
are
World
your debut.
Championships.
Sure.
All right. Well, what about Bonnie? Because I think, listen, Hayden, no doubt. You got Dan, friend of the show, and then Bonnie. But her
wait a minute,
debut was
Bonnie?
probably pretty good too.
but Bonnie's from Illinois.
Well,
doesn't count. Doesn't fit the
Yeah.
criteria.
all
old T.
right. All right,
There you
Gene,
go.
you're right.
Eric-
Gene just
Eric
does.
and-
She does bring it, doesn't she?
Every time.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate the call, Gene. 844-770-3776. So one more before we get to Jason. Russell Wilson's debut in 2011.
Yeah, it was. There's no doubt he kind of changed the way I think people looked at the quarterback spot too. That was, man, he's really good. He was able to do a lot of stuff. As you know, I'm not a monster Russell Wilson fan. I think he had a great. He left a great impact at the University of Wisconsin, but he was here for 6 months.
It was UNLV on a Thursday night. The stat line isn't as good as you might remember the actual performance being, but it was great. 10 of 13, 255 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. But he also showed his legs, including a 46-yard touchdown
Should have
run.
put pants on.
Well,
Got him.
Good one.
That was pretty good, wasn't it, Riley?
Jason
That was
Wilde.
pretty good.
Jason Wilde's coming up next.
Got him.
I need a Coors Light.
Yeah, you do Coors Light, whether you're putting pants on or you're tailgating pregame. Coors Light should always be in your hand. It's going to be another great Father's Day weekend. Grilling out. Cold Coors Light. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
Where's Wilde? We're going to find out coming up next. Jason Wilde joins his own show. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tosher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, congratulations to the amazing team at Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. They're celebrating their 60th year in business. Year after year, Zimbrick Chevrolet is recognized as a Best of Madison operation. If you've experienced the same great service I have for years, head over to MadisonMagazine.com/BOM and vote Zimbrick Chevrolet as Best of Madison yet again. Zimbrick Chevrolet is Dane County's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Stop by or browse online to check out the full lineup of Zimbrick Chevy's new and used vehicle inventory, including Dane County's largest selection of the hot new Chevy Equinox. And remember, it's always better to have your vehicle serviced before you hit the road for a summer road trip, so you don't have to worry about it while you're traveling. Tune-ups, tire rotations, oil changes, and everything in between. Book an appointment online today with Zimbrick Chevrolet's outstanding service team. Voted Best of Madison year after year and celebrating 60 years in business. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
This is Jim Rutledge from Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team for the third year in a row. Help us win it all this year and vote every day this month at madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
It's always special when Jason Wilde joins his own show on days that he takes off. It's also special when Tausch leaves the studio to put in a Free Food Friday order with our ESPN Madison team and then walks past the camera in the middle of
What
our
a nice
segment.
perk. I didn't even know when I decided to come in. We get vintage. They got a great chicken sandwich.
Vintage Brewing Company. Fantastic. Next door here at the Spark Building, downtown Madison. Jason Wilde may be next door. He may be somewhere, parts unknown. We're not exactly sure where he is, but he does join his own show here on Wilde and Tausch. Jason, good morning. Where's Wilde?
Hello, friends. From the...
He's golfing today. He's trying to break 200 today.
This is
without us. You son of a gun. Oh.
From the 7th green at Winnegamie Golf Course in Neenah. We're at a junior Wisconsin Golf Association tournament. Sydney Wilde lining up for about a 10-foot putt here on the 7th green.
What is she shooting for? Like, is she for par?
And she nailed it.
Oh,
And
nice putt.
Fist
bump or no?
A four. No, I'm staying far away because I'm on the radio currently, but an air fist bump.
No. Fist, like a tiger fist pump from her to make that putt?
Yeah. She's pretty non-demonstrative. I don't know how her sister's doing. She's in the foursome behind Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Paula is walking with her. It's probably for the best that they're not together, quite frankly.
Why do you say that?
Because I think that...
competitive juices with sisters?
One of them, yeah, they're both competitive, but one of them, I think, embraces
which one does?
the competitiveness, and the other one lets it get in her head.
Which one embraces?
That would be Sydney. So she's doing fine by herself, and hopefully Maddie's doing well as well. But I'm sorry that I've missed most of the show. I tried to tune in for a little while, lost the signal. So
Sure.
I know you've been very focused on beautiful debuts like the Miz delivered until he rolled his ankle in between pitches.
Just a little cramp. He's going to be all right.
It sounds like this might be maybe Sid's debut here.
Could be.
At the Winneganey.
Tiger Woods-esque.
Yeah, Jason.
Hello, world.
What is, you were a Brewers fan back in the day. What is your remembrance of a great debut that we're forgetting about? Is it Kareem? Was there a Brewer that debuted that we're maybe forgetting?
Well, Kareem's not a Brewer.
I feel
would you throw Kareem in there?
No, plus I wasn't alive. I
Kareem
wasn't
back in '71. Oh, I'm gonna come slap you.
That would be awesome.
No, I'm being dead serious. Kareem's
I also
not
wasn't
a Brewer.
alive.
No blank, you idiot.
Well, you're asking him about Brewers debuts, and then you go Kareem.
All right.
Sorry.
I also wasn't. I mean, I know I'm old, but I wasn't alive for Kareem's Bucks debut. I mean,
I think he was with the Brewers now, I guess.
Lou Alcindor.
All right,
So
Jason, what
I don't
observations
specifically
for Packers
remember-
camp did
No,
you-
let him answer the question. Sorry, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I got after you.
as is often the case. I do remember 2 rookie seasons in my youth when 2 guys came onto the scene and played really well for them. One was Ernest Riles, and then the other was Pat Listash, who I think Pat Listash won AL Rookie of the Year.
He did.
I don't know what he did in his first game.
I think it was
though,
89 he won it.
There you go. Same year that Yount won his second MVP. So
Good year.
Look, I'm glad that we're going to pivot from great debuts, because instead of a debut, it was a goodbye yesterday in the huddle, as Mark Murphy, as I'm hoping you guys discussed, maybe you didn't. Matt LaFleur brought him into the team huddle. Well, he certainly had a good finale yesterday, saying 1, 2, 3 Super Bowl, and so I was already planning on asking LaFleur this question anyway, and then when obviously Mark, who loves to talk and loves to say I'm on my way to Chippewa Falls, I thought Matt LaFleur's answer to my question at the end of the press conference I found really, really interesting. He had just been so he was I don't call him evasive, but I think he really believes he's got a really good football team, and he didn't want to come out and say that, and so he searched for a way to answer to my question at the end of the press conference. Was that me talking to myself there?
I think so.
That was first.
I think you asked yourself a question. I think we're pulling up the audio of what you just said. So you were surprised that he was that open with you. Is that the way I'm reading this?
Well, yeah, sort of like while he bit his tongue and tried not to, say, "Oh, I think we're a Super Bowl contender." The way, just his affect, I thought, really made it clear, at least to me anyway, that he believes he's got a really good football team. I think that's the phrase he ends up using, but that, he kept emphasizing the work. And I thought that was interesting, just because I do find myself wondering if with a young team, you start to feel really good about yourselves, right? You think you're hot stuff. And I'm curious what he's really working to try and control as he kind of gets those guys into a good place in getting ready for training camp and for a season where he believes they're capable of a lot.
We haven't heard it yet, so for those who did not hear the final question of the press conference yesterday, Riley has it ready for us here. This is Jason asking Matt LaFleur what we were just talking about.
Can I ask you a 30,000-foot view question to close out? I look at your team, and you got Wyatt and Quay and all those receivers, and Luke Musgrave and the young safeties and Carrington Valentine. You have a ton of really good football players who've had really good moments, but maybe haven't put together full seasons. If those guys are who you think they are, including your quarterback, what do you think your team could be capable of?
Well, I think, that's a great question, because I don't want to put too much out there. But I think we're capable of being a really good football team, a really good competitive football team. But it's not just going to happen. Again, it goes back to the work, and collectively we need everybody to be their best individually in order to be the best team we can be. And it's not going to be easy. We know that. And but those guys have embraced every challenge we put in front of them. So I'm excited about this group, but ultimately we got to go do it.
That is Matt LaFleur yesterday with Jason's question. So we heard what Jason thought of it. We heard what LaFleur said. Tausch, what do you think of what the head coach said?
Jason, what was so surprising about that answer to you?
Well, if you listen to the way he hesitated there, and our tee shot has gone into the woods on the right side of the.
She shoved it.
Ball searching.
Well, that's where you're supposed to be over there
if you listen to him
find that ball so she didn't lose a stroke.
I am over. I know
you
over
are.
here
You got
helping.
flags?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You got a little flag that you could put in?
Found a bag of Cheetos. So no, I don't have.
What
a
else
flag.
you got?
Watch out for critters.
Exactly. Sid, I think it was a little bit farther up. I do think that if you listen to the way he hesitates, I thought that was really significant. I thought that was him sounding pretty clear that he wanted to say something stronger. Hey, Sid, is this you here? You're on the other side of the fence.
Man, she hit that Titleist so hard she turned it into a Pro V1 or to a TaylorMade.
Well, she doesn't want to lose it because it's one of her Hard Rock Casino Rockford balls.
Oh yeah.
That's a good moniker.
We'll see you Wednesday.
I don't know how you can get around it. So,
punch out. Hey, like Payne Stewart, U.S. Open, take her medicine, punch out, and go try to make a par. Just punch out.
Well, she's on the other side of the fence, so I don't think that's an
Is
option.
that
I think you have to
Is that
take a
OB?
drop,
That's
buddy.
got to be OB. Got to go back and re-tee.
You got a Vortex rangefinder to see how far you are from the pin?
Okay, I'll get your ball. You take a drop. Okay. Well, you can't hit from the other side. Right?
You mean like we're bordering on?
You mean like left-handed, or are you talking about the other side of the fence?
How much are you allowed to do in this tournament?
I feel like you're a little too
other side
coachy
of the
here.
fence.
Too.
Yeah, a little too involved.
No, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to coach at all. So I'm not coaching. I'm telling her the rules.
You're telling her where to take drops and how to. I digress. Continue back.
No, I didn't.
Finding the ball for us.
Well, let me tell you something. In full disclosure, when the Winneganey County calls for rules, and this audio will be put in for the jury to decide, just so you know. All right, continue.
Hey, just hand me the 7-iron, Sid. Let
It's
me
not
take
your
care of
ball?
that for
Okay.
you.
I don't know. You got to keep looking then.
Oh, boy.
Well, apparently the ball we found wasn't even hers. Hey, this is what was going to happen when I went on the radio, right? I mean, things have gone sideways for the one hole where I've talked to you guys.
Nobody's arguing. Just keep going, baby. Yeah, just keep going.
This is a lot better than yesterday at practice.
Yeah, I'll say I'm
that.
learning a lot more about golf than I did about the G&G yesterday. I know that. Anybody showing out today? No. It's a total waste of time. All right, thanks, Jason. Thanks
There's
for
an
your
obstacle
report.
course, but nobody ran
Matt
it.
LaFleur. Well, it's true. I mean, I did give you the accurate information. I'm sorry that you didn't feel like it was compelling or interesting.
No, it sucked,
but
and you know that. But that's all right. It's hey, not everything's a home run. Not every ball's inbounds. That's how golf works. All right, so let's get back to what you're saying. You thought the pause was because he thinks he's got a Super Bowl team, is what I'm understanding.
He does. I think he does think that, and I think that's why he was more cautious in his answer. When he says I don't want to say too much, does that not tell you that that's what he's thinking?
Yeah, you're muffling yourself. Yeah, you're putting a muffler
Viewing
on
this
yourself.
through the wrong.
Yeah.
So and look, it doesn't do him any good to make major pronouncements to talk about how good he thinks
you
his
let the
team
president,
is,
the
and we're a
outgoing
Super Bowl
president,
team and
say
all
that instead. That's what you do,
Right,
Or, hey,
exactly.
Mark, hey,
And-
call this up and say
that's
Super
what-
Bowl, and then everybody could say, "Oh, Mark's saying Super Bowl," and I didn't have to. Right.
Right, and Mark Murphy also said in that, he also said, I think this team, I've got a really special feeling about this team, and I hope you guys feel it too. So you're right. He's able to say that as the team president, and Matt LaFleur doesn't have to say it. But the fact of the matter is I think Matt LaFleur looks at this team I think he believes what you and I and Jesse have been talking about for quite a while, and that is that this team has got a lot of young guys that have played good football from time to time. And if they play as well as they have, but on a more sustained, consistent level, I think they're going to be pretty darn good. And, what does that look like and how far does that take them? I'm not sure. But I do think that I think they have some really good pieces that have shown that they can do it in spurts. But as you well know, having been on a Super Bowl team, having been on a lot of playoff teams, spurts don't get it done if you want to become a championship level team. And the general manager, with his line about urgency, said it at the very start, at the end of last season, that they should be competing for championships. So if that's the belief and that's the expectation, then those guys need to do more than what they've done.
Jason Wilde joining his own show here, Wilde and Tausch, as he's on the golf course, not coaching, not caddying.
Not looking for the ball. That doesn't seem as having a ton of luck in trying to find in a crowded woods of some sort.
Jason, what other players spoke with the media yesterday, and any big takeaways from any of that availability?
Nope.
Hey, maybe we lost Jason's signal. We got you back here. Okay.
No, I didn't want to. No, you didn't lose my signal. She was in her backswing. So.
Are you louder on the course than you expected you would be?
I don't think so, but you guys are going to have to take a break, and I'm going to have to circle back with you. We're coming apart at the seams on this hole.
Oh, boy.
What does that mean? Like is it like meltdown, or what are we talking about here?
Well, he said she was in the woods, and we've all had tough holes. I'm sure that's what's going on.
All right, why don't we let Jason go for the weekend? Jason, we appreciate you. Go get that. Go try to. We playing 9 holes. Try to wrap this thing. Get it back on track.
I think he already. No, there he is.
I just wanted to let her. Back. I just wanted to let her swing. God, you guys, she had to take a drop. Then she hit the ball off the tree she was by. Ooh. So she's had a little bit of a tough hole.
Trees are 90%
which I'm sure
air.
Tausch has occasionally had those.
No, trees are 90% air. That's what I always say when I hit a tree. It's like, I had 10% chance or not. That's the way it goes.
We had a good conversation. To answer your question, now that she's finally out of the trouble she was in here on this hole, we talked to Isaiah Simmons, and I'm really intrigued to see what they view him as and what role he's going to have. His narrative. Now, again, I didn't cover him with the Arizona Cardinals or with the Giants, and it sounded a little Devondre Campbell-y, which I don't really like hearing. Was that his previous teams used him as too many things, and he didn't get to concentrate on one position. And so now that he's just playing linebacker instead of playing safety and nickel and linebacker, he believes he's going to be much better off. Now, we'll see if that ends up being the case, but he seems to think that he has found a good role and a good team and a good system and a good coordinator to play for. We'll have to wait and see if that actually turns out to be the case.
Jason, we will let you go and take care of the golf as it's ongoing here throughout the morning. Did you want to circle back and join us for Feel Good Friday a little bit later? You had mentioned that, I think. Or are we?
I do. We will be.
Okay.
We will. Yes, I have a Feel Good Friday I'd like to get to, so I will be. I will be back then. I look forward to that.
So we will check back with you in the 11 o'clock hour. Good luck out on the course. We can't wait to hear how it's going.
Well, hopefully it'll be going better than this hole is going.
Maybe we're bad luck.
Golf's hard.
Yeah.
Golf's a hard game.
Thanks, Jason.
Indeed it is. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde joining his own show, Wilde and Tausch, here from the golf course, where he's a parent who's dealing with little adversity on whatever hole he said they were on here. So that'll happen.
The way she blows. Yep.
We'll talk about what Jason said about that pause in Matt LaFleur's answer. We'll talk more about that. Other takeaways from the week of mandatory minicamp practices. Everybody's gone till training camp, July 23rd now. We'll talk plenty more about that coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Toscher here for Pizza Hut. You know I've loved Pizza Hut since the days I was back in school participating in the legendary Book It program. Man, I remember thinking I was busy back then, but that was nothing to how much we have going on now. Between kids, sports, work commitments, days out on the golf course, and summer vacation, how's a guy like me supposed to plan a meal in advance? Well, thankfully, Pizza Hut has the perfect hookup for me and my family. It's the Hut Hookup. All you have to do, spend $7.99 at Pizza Hut, and you get a free large one-topping pizza later. Yes, you heard that right. Get pizza now and get more pizza later. Get your own Hut Hookup now. Download the Pizza Hut app to place your order or go online to pizzahut.com. The Hut Hookup, available now only at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the belt line at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Madison School and Community Recreation's For Friends golf outing is Wednesday, July 23rd at the Oaks Golf Course. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Since 2003, the Friends of MSCR has raised over $630,000 to fund new programming, equipment, fee assistance, staff development, and more. You can support accessible recreation in Madison through sponsorship or by signing up for a foursome. Head to birdease.com/MSCR for more information and to register. That's BIRDEASE.com/MSCR.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Special thanks again again to Jason Wilde joining his own show, even though he took the day off today. I always appreciate Jason, and we're going to hear from him again to close out the show, coming up with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints a little bit later. Jesse and Tausch for the time being holding it down. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, scheduled to appear in the 11 o'clock hour of the show. Tausch, we're in the time now with minicamp practice wrapping up yesterday where everybody goes their separate ways. And it's don't get arrested season, basically. 6 weeks to do whatever you want over the 4th of July.
Coaches will always say this is the time of the year. College, and now college, most of the guys are on campus. They leave for the 4th of July, and that's always the time when coaches and front office folks are the most nervous because for a vast majority of it, you have a pretty good idea, where these guys are, what they're doing. This is kind of their last breath of freedom until you come back. And there's always that nerviness about doing something stupid, getting in some kind of trouble that will jeopardize, and you put all this work and effort in, and there's a lot of angst amongst front office people in college and in the professional ranks of just don't do anything dumb. Come back, don't have all your your fingers, and don't be an idiot. That's why I always try to tell my kids, just don't be an idiot. And if you live through that moniker, you're going to do some dumb things occasionally, but try not to be an idiot. And if you do that, you typically are going to be fine.
So Jason talked about how Mark Murphy got in the huddle and said Super Bowl on 3 yesterday. That was the big takeaway from practice yesterday. How meaningful is for guys as they get ready to leave camp before coming back for training camp, how much does that last thing you hear matter going into this? Like, is that something that Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs, everybody's going to be sitting at home for the next 6 weeks and in between taking some time off, mental clarity away from the game, thinking, man, we got a real chance to win the Super Bowl this year?
I don't think Mark saying that is what is probably – it's nice. You always want affirmation from your bosses and that, hey, we're on the right track and we're doing that. But if you think that, Jordan Love is going to go out to his wedding and have a bunch of his teammates out there and they're going to be talking about Mark Murphy's speech about winning a Super Bowl, no, that is not going to be the case. But I think anytime you can get some of that, when you get a premonition, what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Maybe prophecy. When I'll have to look what word I'm looking for up. But you're trying to manifest is the word I'm looking for.
Manifest, yeah, Rogers. It's a Rogersism.
Thanks for helping. You're manifesting what your goal is going to be, and the more you think about it and talk about it, it can go one of two ways. You could kind of almost push it too hard, or it can become a daily thing where you're constantly, that's what you're shooting for, and I think that can be a positive.
Someone's going to try and manifest a victory in Wilde and Tausch trivia coming up next for our final contestant with the final opportunity to get entries into our drawing for a Vortex rangefinder along with the swag bag. The swag bag we will continue to give away for the coming weeks, but this is the final rangefinder that we have to give away as part of Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf. That's coming up next. Before we do that, though, Tausch is going to tell you about our great partner with Steinhafels.
Steinhafels Buy More, Save More sale. It is happening right now. You take 10% off store-wide. Then you take an extra $100 off every $999 you spend. And use Steinhafels 18-month 0% financing to make your new room more affordable. Plus, wow, that's a plus. Today through Sunday, Father's Day, take an extra 5, 10, or 15% off their already low clearance center prices. I got a feeling that's why old Jaybird probably ended up getting that couch. We still haven't. We'll hear about that next week. Shop in store or at steinhafels.com.
The final time we're playing Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf with a rangefinder in play. Riley, these phone lines have lit up when I've been back there answering them, even when I haven't been on jury duty.
We already have callers.
So we're going to go big for the final one. Caller 21. Caller 21 at 844-770-3776 for Wilde and Tausch trivia. Caller 21 right now, 844-770-3776. Today's trivia category, in honor of the final rangefinder, home on the range. All the questions have something with the word range in them. A little twist on trivia today. Caller 21 right now for Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. 844-770-3776. Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Summer is here, and for many of us, that means more activities, more vacations, more time with our kids, and more money being spent on all of those things. So I know, like me, you're looking to save a few bucks. Why not save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar? Our family made the switch to solar, and we love it. But at first, we weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Steinhoffels and get a free foundation when you buy a Beauty Rest Black or World Class mattress. Queens start at $30 per month with Steinhoffels 60-month financing. Former Badger Nick Herbig now teammates with former Packer Aaron Rodgers. While on the other side of the ball, Herbig expressing his excitement to be in the same locker room as the four-time MVP. Audio courtesy DK Pittsburgh Sports.
You'd be lying if you said it don't feel a little different. You know, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's four-time MVP. He won a Super Bowl. He's done it at the highest level. He's seen the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. So just having a guy like that with his experience, even though, like, I'm not a quarterback, you know, just having a guy like that around the team is awesome.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Their concession stand makes you feel like you're at the state fair with something for everyone. Spring Vintage Weekend with the SVRA is up next on May 16th through the 18th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Home on the Range. in honor of the rangefinder being given away from our friends at Vortex.
Well done, Riley.
Golf for the final time. How old is this version of the song? Like
this is Roy Rogers.
There has to be a more modern version.
When
was Roy Rogers on TV?
50s and 60s, I think.
So this is a little old.
Seems right up your alley somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm a fan of the Andy Griffith Show.
Did you not catch my?
Otis the town drunk. Yep.
Yeah.
Barney Fife.
Speaking of Tier 1
Opie.
Tyler, by the way, who we compared to
Opie.
Otis the Town Drunk
Really
earlier.
good fisherman, Opie.
That's what I've heard.
Tyler's buddy, my friend as well, Pepsi Mike from our friends over at Pepsi here in Madison, says, I agree with you. Freelick and Mertz top 2, no question.
Okay.
For debuts in Wisconsin
Pepsi
sports
Mike.
history.
Pepsi Mike.
I've always got Pepsi Mike in my corner, especially in a fight against Tier 1 Tyler. Time now to play.
We need a bubbler Bob. That's what we need.
We need a bub. Okay, we'll find someone named Bob. We'll get him a job over there with Tier 1 Tyler and Pepsi Mike, and we'll have Bubbler Bob as the third member of our Pepsi trio for us to help. Let's play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
We have one last rangefinder to give away as part of Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. The swag bag as well, and the swag bag will continue in the coming weeks, but our final rangefinder and our final contestant with an opportunity to win that rangefinder, it is Mason in Madison. Mason, good morning, and welcome to Wilde and Tausch Trivia. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are great. Did you watch The Miz pitch last night on the mound for the Brewers?
I did not.
Wow. Okay.
Moving
on.
Dynamite question, Jesse.
Thanks for tuning in nonetheless. Mason, here is your trivia category today, Home on the Range. Questions that feature the word range in them as part of our final day with a rangefinder to give away presented by Vortex Golf. Question number 1. According to the classic folk song we just heard Roy Rogers singing on the way in, who plays on the Home on the Range? Is it the Deer and the Antelope, the Birds and the Prairie Dogs, or the Athletics until their new stadium in Vegas is complete?
We're the Deer and the Antelope.
Oh, where the deer and the antelope play. That's a
What
great
a classic.
song.
Good song.
Absolutely.
That was
Great
beautiful.
tune.
Discouraging word is my favorite lyric.
Discouraging. All right, let's get another one here. Here we go. Which team did the Texas Rangers defeat to win the first World Series title in their franchise history in 2023? Is it the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, or the Phillies?
Ooh. Phillies.
Close.
What do you mean close?
The Phillies were in the NLCS that year and fell to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who advanced to the World
That's
Series.
right.
Diamondbacks,
That's
who beat the
right.
Brewers in the wild card round that year, advancing all the way to the World Series.
Yeah.
A chance to bounce back, Mason, with question number 3. Chuck Norris starred in the action TV series Walker, Texas Ranger for 9 seasons from 1993 to 2001. Tausch, were you a fan of Walker, Texas
No,
Ranger?
never watched an episode.
Oh, okay.
Dallas was my show.
We're aware of that one, yes. What was the first name of the title Walker character Chuck Norris portrayed?
Oh, God.
What was Walker, Texas Ranger's first name? Was it Norman, Wendell, or Cordell?
Norman, I want to say.
Gave it a run. Would you like to try and Tausch it, Mason, and guess incorrectly a second time?
What was the second guess?
We had-
Number 2 option.
Wendell and Cordell, the other 2 options.
Cordell.
Yeah, tough to Tausch it. Cordell was the correct answer.
Oh, no. Wow, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, me either. No,
That's
clue.
a tough one. Well, we were far cry from what ended up being the start of a perfect week through Wednesday. Only one correct answer
but
yesterday.
Since we've been given the Vortex rangefinder way, the low number entries have been winning at a pretty consistent clip.
That is an optimistic approach for Mason to look at that, as you have 2 entries of the possible 4 for our drawing that takes place a little bit later in the show.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Mason. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for playing trivia.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Mason in Madison. Today's trivia.
Mason.
Was the Walker Texas Ranger.
Very tough question.
A little out of left field.
I don't know hardly anybody that's getting that question right, other than maybe Chuck. I'm not sure where Chuck's at on a mental scale. He's pretty old now, right?
He's getting up there.
The way the question's phrased, so were there multiple Walker Texas Rangers he played? Like, were there different names for different seasons?
What do you mean? No.
Or was it always Cordell?
Yeah, he was. Chuck Norris starred in the action TV series Walker Texas Ranger for 9 seasons. What was the name of the title Walker character?
Oh, what was
Norris
okay.
portrayed?
Now I see the first name.
Yeah, what was his first?
I interpreted that as the first of many names, not just his first name. That's on me.
Maybe not my
I wonder
best
how
question.
their debut was.
Pretty good if they stuck around for 9 seasons.
Yeah,
You got
probably decent.
Okay.
Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf. We will draw our winner coming up in a little bit. Wayne Laravee scheduled to appear about 11:30 here in our 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. While Jason's gone on the golf course, we're going to hear from him during Feel Good Friday coming up to close out the show. We wanted to talk a little bit college football today. Tausch and I, whenever we get a chance to host the show together, we always like diving a little further into the Wisconsin Badgers. As long as we have, are we going to call the Badgers color analyst today, or is he?
No, he's
not
busy.
available. Okay, so he's busy, but so we have you instead. So we will talk college football, the state of the Wisconsin Badgers. Luke Fickle making a national media appearance earlier this week with some interesting things, stirring things up as we get set for the start of the coming season. That's all straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. That starts in 2 minutes on Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. Complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Thought it was hard to have a much better debut than Jacob Miserowski, but during the first hour of the show, I was proven wrong, but still phenomenal effort in the Miz's debut outing. He went 5 no-hit innings and touched over 100 miles per hour 14 separate times, which is good for 5th best in a debut in MLB history. He exited during his first batter in the 5th inning after a brief injury scare with a twisted ankle, but him and the Brewers confirmed post-game is just some cramps, nothing to be concerned about, and he will make his next start. Brewers kept the Cardinals off the scoreboard the rest of the affair and went on to win 6-0, leapfrogging St. Louis into second place in the NL Central. Series continues tonight against the Cards. First pitch scheduled for 7:10 p.m. Central, with pregame coverage beginning at 6:35 right here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Wilde and Tausch on Friday the 13th. You believe in that kind of stuff?
No. Until I do.
What does that mean?
Well, obviously if something goes haywire today, I'll probably look back and say, man, it was on Friday the 13th. But if it not, no. I mean, I'm not anticipating anything going sour today, but who knows?
And what if, like, the cheese on your chicken sandwich showed up as, like, a skull and crossbones? That'd be spooky.
It'd be fluky. It'd be very fluky if that happened.
This came up in the court case that I was on last week on the jury. Did you guys realize, because a lot happened in 2020, the day that the world really shut down and they canceled the NCAA tournament and the conference tournaments was Friday the 13th.
Didn't know that.
So the ultimate Friday the 13th was the day COVID really took over the entire world and shut everything down.
Okay.
So, fun fact.
Is it fun?
No. Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. Jason's out on the golf course. He will join us for Feel Good Friday coming up. By the way, Ron and Rome on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. I loved Walker, Texas Ranger. The main person to use his first name was his girlfriend, who was the DA. You missed a chance to see the bad guys get their butts kicked every show. Okay. Ron and Rome.
Well, that might be one of those that you flip back around. I still have Sopranos in my list of shows that I can watch. I watched a few episodes on our one of our flights, and that's going to be my next forgotten show because I'm kind of one of those cats where if I miss something in the beginning, I am out on it. Like if something, Friends, a great show, you need to watch it. Nah, I'm good. I did that with Ozarks, and I ended up watching it over COVID.
Yeah.
It was 3 seasons in already.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ozark was good.
It was very good. But I'm saying, I don't need to be, hey, this is hot. We got to watch this now. I can't remember what Hunter had. He was raving about some show.
Game of Thrones, I think he was doing for a bit.
And I'm just, and that Game of Thrones doesn't interest me. The whole concept is not.
Yeah, that's genre I'm kind of out on.
That's not where I live. Yeah. So. But this Walker, Texas Ranger, I'd like to sit here and tell you I'll watch. I'm not going to.
Nah, not a
that
chance.
won't be up.
Not a chance.
Now, Lost.
So
that might be what everybody.
Lost.
I've had some friends tell me that this is something you need to watch. It's one of the all-time great shows. It was on kind of during when I played. I didn't have time, so I didn't watch. Not once have I seen an episode. Not once.
Do you know what
the
happens?
Concept, the plane,
do you know what because the ending?
I think it turns into Animal Island.
The ending is much ridiculed for being one of the controversial endings to a TV series.
I don't want to know. Just keep it
down.
So
if you haven't heard it, I don't want to tell you.
I'm now at the point where I am going to invest time in. I don't want to be spoiled on it.
So Lost, I think ended in the early 2000s.
Mid 2000s. Yeah.
So please, no spoilers 18 years later for old T,
I think,
who's going to start Lost pretty soon.
Those are the two things that I'm probably Lost is one that I'm definitely going to get into, and I'll think seriously about some other stuff. Sopranos.
Ellie on the YouTube chat said she's getting into Antique Roadshow. When it comes to those sort of TV shows what am I looking for here? Like Mythbusters or
diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yes, exactly. What's the one where they buy Storage Wars? Are you into those kind of shows where it's just the same
Storage
thing?
Wars for a little bit, and then it was kind of the same old.
Yeah,
I got
that one guy yelling "Yup," which I like, but then it's "Yerp," and I was in a reality phase. Even one of my all-time go-tos, Below Deck, I don't even watch that anymore. Here's the problem with TV. You get a hit, and then you just wear it out. Mm-hmm. Oh, now we got to go Below Deck this, and then there's another Below Deck. Well, then let's put it on a sailing deck, and then let's do this. And eventually you're like, okay, no mas. Roberto Duran did. I'm done.
Josh and Hartlet on the text line, Lost debut was better than Brett Favre's.
I've heard great things about Lost. I'm nervous now that I say this that I'm going to get referenced out, and because there's a lot of seasons of Lost.
There's several. Yeah, it lasted, I want to say 6 or 7 seasons,
and episodes on episodes. I want to say it was 25, 30. So that's a commitment that I'm willing to make. I just don't know when.
I don't know. Are you open to any more recommended? Have you watched the Hotel movie season 3, a.k.a. The White Lotus? For those who are unfamiliar with Tausch's vernacular,
I
on this
did watch
show.
White Lotus. That's
Did you
one
watch,
of them that I kind of bought into.
You watched all 3 seasons?
I just watched the one in Thailand.
Yeah, that was the most recent one. Yeah,
some sick blank in there now.
Yeah, I just finished it the other night.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not. I don't know about that.
You're
we
out
love
on the
traveling.
hotel movie.
I don't know about that show anymore.
Ryan and Madison, old T, I haven't seen Lost either. Tell me when you start. I'd love to do a fan watch along with you. Should we do that? Because I've never seen it either.
Sounds like something. And I know there's plenty of podcasts and things that do. They call. I think Bill Simmons does a rewatchables. That could be something where it's almost like a book of the month club. Maybe we'll start that after the football season's done next year. Well, we'll start Lost, but that's a long time out. But I think I could definitely hold off. Because every time I get on a plane, and our road trips this year for Wisconsin football, other than going to Oregon, I don't think there's any behemoth trips. Alabama.
Champaign again this year, right?
I think Champagne's here.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are coming here this year.
Ohio State's coming here.
And I always watch, and now I always watch Top Gun Maverick. Like that is every time I get on a plane now, I'm going to watch that movie. Well, it gets better every time I watch it.
You would rather watch the same movie over and over and over every time you get on an airplane instead of watching something new?
Not always, but if there's nothing...
But if it's Top Gun Maverick...
If nothing grabs your attention, you go Top Gun Maverick.
I'm not going to denigrate the film industry, but what they're putting out now is garbage.
Sequels after sequel after sequel.
I mean, I'll watch Mission... I was actually going to go to the theater. My kids love Mission Impossible. And the new Tommy Cruise. Tommy Cruise, the last great movie star. There won't be another one. Won't be another Tom Cruise, ever. And I'm not even a Tom Cruise guy, but there won't be.
He doesn't have the chops of Christian Bale or Hugh Jackman.
Well, yeah, I don't know many other actors who are setting themselves on fire and jumping out of a plane 17 times to get the right take.
That's why he's a legend.
Yep.
I want to see a Rounders 2. No, I do.
What about you were just criticizing the film industry for doing nothing but sequels and unoriginal ideas.
I said sequels.
You say no original ideas.
I just said and I just said my favorite one is a sequel to Top Gun. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I never once said that.
Speaking of sequels, Happy Gilmore 2.
I will tune into that.
I think
sure.
I'm nervous about Happy Gilmore 2.
It looks awesome. Have you seen the trailer?
I think it's going to be a big bust, and I'm really nervous that it's going to...
The more I hear about Adam Sandler, he is awesome.
Yeah,
I love Adam Sandler.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's a dude.
I want Happy Gilmore 2 to be good. I'm nervous it's going to be not very good. Just from what I've seen so far.
Why do you get nervous? Why would you get nervous about something like that?
It looks awesome.
If it sucks, your life won't change 1 second. Why are you nervous?
Because I don't want it to sound Happy Gilmore is one of the great movies, especially in the Sandler verse.
Netflix, that check's cashed already for Adam. The check's cashed.
So you think nothing that Happy Gilmore 2 does could sour the legacy of Happy Gilmore 1?
No, then it's just another cash
Major League 2 sucked, and I don't say that I still won't watch Major League. It's a great movie. Major League 3 was all-time bad.
Gladiator 2, you've
Gladiator
gone on
2
that's so bad.
That was a waste of time.
But it doesn't sour Gladiator 1 for you?
Here's
or
what I'll
does it?
tell you. I think we were when we went on our trip over to Japan, I started watching Gladiator. I shut it off to watch Maverick again.
Oof.
That's how bad it was.
Fair.
Oof. Well, we did promise some Wisconsin Badgers college football conversation here, and instead we ended up at Rounders 2 and should Tausch
Rounders
watch
2
Lost.
would be fantastic. That needs to happen.
Ryan and Madison, I'm all in on Rounders 2.
I think Rounders 2 has that movie is built for a sequel. That and the Survivor movie with Tom Hanks. Those two movies
Castaway 2.
both need to be done.
You have long advocated for Castaway 2.
I'm seriously kind of annoyed that they didn't do something. What happened? You left us hanging on a bunch of storylines. Let's finish it. Where did he go with that box? What were they doing? Why was it? Would it have been a satellite phone? He could have got off the thing and he just ended up marrying Helen Hunt. There's so many things that happened, and everybody wants to make a buck. There's bucks to be made there. What are we doing?
So we're not getting Castaways 2, but as Mike points out in the YouTube chat as well, we are getting Spaceballs 2 as well. The search for more money.
You a Spaceballs guy? No. I know that was a no. You're out. Okay, he's out on that one.
Never mind.
Dismissed. I've never seen it, so I can't say anything on it. So I guess you're a resident Spaceballs guy.
I thought it was funny. I first watched it when I was 13. Thought it was hilarious. Loved it.
So you'll be all in.
So
on
I'm in on Spaceballs too as well.
That's fantastic.
Jerry Ott, I've never seen Lost myself. Count me in for the old T watch along. It's happening.
All right, here's the deal. We're doing this. I guess the question is, I think once we get started, I have a monster OCD personality on certain things.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to have to go 2 or 3. We're going to go 1 a week. I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't have the discipline to only do 1 a week.
Well,
if it's good, I'm going to want to watch episode 2.
On streaming platforms now, you can crank out 2 or 3 in a night.
But if we're going to do this, we're going to do it.
I think. Well, you want to break down every episode of Lost, every 100-something episodes.
Somebody set up how people have done this in the past. I have not seen Bill Simmons'. I think he does movies.
I would go by season. I would do like our.
You get a month to watch the season.
And then here's our June session. Everyone who wants to join us.
Episodes in a season. That's
but then how do you talk about it unless you set a time at the end of each month? Because
this would be digi only.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a digi only deal.
There's no way you're going to limit us to 1 per week. I'd say set a date for every season so there's like 3 weeks for a season, says Ryan. So this has now just become 4 of us trying to coordinate a Lost watch-along and Digi-only special. That is what the 11 o'clock hour has turned into.
How many people haven't seen the show Lost, though? Like, you think it's a bunch? And plus, I think people that have watched it probably would want to rewatch it.
I mean, it was one of the most popular
shows
really
on
TV for
and I know there's a heavy set fella because there's some people said, "Oh, you look like him," and I was like, "That's such a slap in the face." And now I look at him like, "All right, I whatever." That's the only character I could even tell you about, the heavy set fella in that show. And if you're on Lost in an island, then you lose a bunch of weight, shouldn't you?
You would think.
So I'm curious. There must have been a food supply. I don't know what the food supply is, but I'll be curious about that too.
Well, you're going to have to watch to find out. Hey, Riley, what did Luke Fickle say when he joined the Jim Rome show earlier this week?
We should probably find out next segment.
All right. Well, here's the thing. So Wayne Laravee is scheduled to appear at 11:30. Then we have Feel Good Friday after that. Riley, do you have anything for Whoa Riley beyond what we just talked about with rewatching Lost and other old or TV shows or movies that you would want to? This is your chance, right?
Yeah, I have a couple things, but I think the Luke Fickle conversation would be better radio.
All right. Well, appreciate that. Congrats on being on the Jumbotron earlier this week.
Thank you.
We will hear from Luke Fickle on the Jim Rome Show. We will draw our Vortex Rangefinder Wilde and Tausch trivia winner all before Wayne Larrivee is scheduled to appear at 11:30, and then Jason rejoins us for Feel Good Friday. That's all coming up on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, "Hey, how'd you pull this off?" Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $295 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. I've been telling you for years how great Door County Distillery is. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. The sun is shining, and so can the Rock Island Rum from Door County Distillery in your summertime cocktail. Otherwise, vodkas, gins, whiskeys, brandies, and more, it's all available from the award-winning Door County Distillery. Find a huge list of unique cocktail recipes and the retailer nearest you, doorcountydistillery.com. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
This fall, build your perfect Wisconsin football game day with a mini pack. Pick any 3 games, including Big Ten matchups like Washington, Iowa, and Ohio State, and save while cheering on the Badgers. Big matchups, big moments, and it's all on your schedule. Football mini packs are available now. Create your custom game day experience today at uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. First touchdown to the 5th quarter. There's always something to enjoy. Football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with an offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason Wilde out on the golf course. He'll join us for Feel Good Friday. Painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints coming up to close out the show. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, scheduled to appear coming up next. Before we get back to Packers, do want to spend at least a couple of minutes talking about the Wisconsin Badgers. While it's Tausch and I here on the show, love getting into college football conversation. And Luke Fickle did appear earlier this week on the Jim Rome show, where he shared more than, quite frankly, I expected he would share about the state of the Wisconsin Badgers football team getting set for this season. Riley, you've curated some of the more compelling clips from that appearance. Let's hear what the Badgers head football coach had to say.
Another great thing. It was something that we really had to kind of do here, and for a lot of different reasons. You know, I mean, we need to be about the offensive line. We need to be about having balance and throwing and running. I didn't say we need to be the old school Wisconsin, but we needed to get back in the ways to physicality of making sure the guys up front. And it doesn't mean that being in an air raid system, you can't do that, but the nature of what it is that you do. I think the air raid systems or some of those spread systems that are all predicated on the quarterback, I would tell you that it's really, really difficult in those systems to outperform average quarterback play. And I want to be in a system that we would call more like an NFL system, where obviously the quarterback is still the most important thing in what you do, especially offensively, but that you understand that there's more to it than just the quarterback. If the quarterback is having a tougher day, which you hear all the time in the NFL, quarterback had a rough day, he was 12 for 28, but they still won 24-17 because they have balance, because they can rely upon not just the run game, the big guys up front, but also some play action stuff that can take some of the pressure off of just the quarterback. And that balance is what Jeff Grimes brings, and I think it'll be what is a big, big difference maker for us in our program.
Luke Fickle on the Jim Rome show earlier this week. A lot to take away from that clip. First of all, I wonder how the former offensive lineman feels about him saying they want to emphasize productivity on the offensive line more.
Well, I think when he was breaking down quarterback play and what is expected, the air raid is not going to be about physicality. And that was, I think, one of the concerns. I think when you initially the whole thing played out. Now, that doesn't mean, as he said, you can't run the football and do that, but you're going to lean a lot on a quarterback. And I think with what Phil Longo brought was you put a lot on the quarterback. You had to make the reads. You had to get the ball out. It was going to be more finesse and athleticism. And, I give Wisconsin credit for trying some different things. And this seems as if this was more of a acknowledgement of we do have to get better in the pass game, but we have to stick with what works. And what works and what has been a big reason for success that we've had in the Alvarez era, Brett Bielema, Paul Christ, is we've been able to run the football, and then all the things that Luke just talked about with play action and making it easier on the quarterback. This is great if you have Patrick Mahomes. You have Josh Allen, guys that are just dynamite athletes that can do it. That's not what we've seen. So you want to make your offense as balanced as you can and as easy on the quarterback as you can. If you're going to lean, your quarterback has to make plays. Has to make plays with his feet, has to make plays with his arm. But it makes the job a lot easier, and that's for whether it's Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, whoever, the job of a quarterback is going to be a lot easier if your defense is good and you have a good running game. And if you're not an ultra super talent, it's really hard to overcome that. And I think what we saw the last couple seasons was you put a lot on a quarterback and injuries continued to pile up. And it just didn't work the way I think we all hoped it would. And now I think the goal is to be more balanced and to kind of lean into what has been maybe a little bit more successful for this program.
How successful have the Green Bay Packers been when their starting quarterbacks have gotten hurt over the last
not great
2 decades?
Well, last year was good.
Last year was okay. They kept it on the rails with Malik Willis.
Last year was okay. Last year was really good.
Yeah, they ran the ball 50 times against the Colts and
they
then
beat Tennessee.
Beat the worst team in the NFL. Yeah.
They won 3 games with
and
Jacksonville.
Jordan Love not playing much. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Last year was fine. When Aaron
going undefeated with the backup
what else do you want? The guy was barely
done?
in Green Bay. He goes there and you go 3-0 with him.
But the level of quarterback play was significantly diminished when Malik Willis stepped in. Can we all agree on that?
I thought the offense moved pretty good. Jordan Love is a better thrower of the football, but the offense as a whole, you can make a really good argument that Tennessee might have been one of the most impressive offensive performances from snap 1 to snap 70 of the whole season.
All right.
Yeah, everyone knew they were running the football, and they were still able to run the football.
Let me try this again. When Aaron Rodgers went down with injuries in 2013, or was it 14, whatever year that was, and then in 2017, the Green Bay Packers were not nearly as successful as a football team as they would have been with him out on the field.
Yes.
So Luke Fickle.
Why you're getting after Malik Willis? The guy came out of nowhere and played great for him. The quarterback position hadn't been better probably since Mark Brunell and the boys. Matt Hasselbeck.
I'm trying to draw a comparison here.
How's that going for you?
Not well.
All right.
Luke Fickle has been dealt a tough hand in his first 2 seasons as the Wisconsin football head coach in the fact that his starting quarterback of preference got hurt early in both seasons. And the same backup quarterback, Braden Locke, stepped in both times to take over. It was Tanner Mordecai in 23. It was Tyler Van Dyke last year against Alabama. And no matter what we may think about developing quarterbacks and guys in that system and whatever else you want to say, any football team in the college or pro level, if you don't have your preferred starting quarterback for the majority
Alabama
of the season,
did all right with Tua. Came in for Jalen Hurts.
Again, a little different because that still was only in the national
championship.
championship.
Didn't Ohio State win a
game.
national championship with a third-string
Cardale
quarterback?
Jones was a third stringer.
They
yes.
did beat Wisconsin 50.
But again, that's Alabama. That's Ohio State. We haven't developed into that. We wanted to get to that, and we have not gotten there yet. So any other teams
I think
besides
Michigan didn't even start McCarthy to start. I think he was their second guy. I just named 3 national championship teams that had quarterback stuff.
McCarthy was definitely the preferred guy when they went on to win the championship that year.
Alex Orji.
And the fact that you
Pretty
can
solid.
you can look at the Tua example, you can look at the Cardale Jones example. Those are the exceptions to all the other times.
No, I just
where
don't have more. I'm pretty sure I could go through a litany.
High-level college.
Nebraska did it with Behringer over Tommy Frazier.
Was that when Dallas was on, or
it was in the 90s?
Walker, Texas Ranger would have been
I don't think
popular at
Lost
the time.
had started yet, but
The point is, the starting quarterback of preference, who was a veteran coming in that fit the system better, did not stay healthy each of his first 2 seasons. And I still think Luke Fickle has a vision. I think he realized the air raid isn't good. I think he realized in this clip, but he's talking about developing the offensive line, having a little bit more consistency at that position, developing more of a consistent run game that can help supplement the pass as opposed to going the opposite approach. I think he learned a lesson in the first 2 seasons with the air raid offense, and this is the get out of jail free card that Fickle has now played, saying, okay, we're resetting the expectations here, we're resetting the offense, and this is a fresh start for Wisconsin football in year 3 for Fickle taking over as the head coach of this program. I still believe in him. I think a lot of people around the program still believe in him, but this is the get out of jail free card. You get a full reset this year. Let's see what you got. Hopefully everybody's able to stay healthy. Hopefully this is able to develop over the next 2 seasons and being competitive against the best teams in the Big Ten, having a signature victory to hang your hat on to say that this is what this program is capable of being. That is the expectation for me heading into the 2025 college football season.
Why don't you just say that instead of going through this whole other litany of things that didn't make any sense? Like, that's fine. What you just said there is great. The stuff before it, none of it made any sense.
I was trying to exhibit that, when Braden Locke comes in instead of Tanner
You
Mordecai.
understand Braden Locke was in a dogfight of a competition with Van Dyke last year. It wasn't like it was some preferred star. He won the job.
The team did look a lot different when Van Dyke was out there than when Braden Locke
They
stepped
played
in.
Southwest Missouri State. Like, come on now.
That first drive against Alabama looked real promising.
All right.
It did.
Okay.
Wayne Laravee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, scheduled to appear next. We'll talk college, or not college. We'll talk about
we'll
the
ask him
Green
about
Bay
that too,
Packers and
have him
expect.
tell you how Malik Willis wasn't good enough.
He did used to do games for the Big Ten Network. What's going on at Quick Trip, Tausch?
Quick Trip's got that great little. I just stopped in again today. I love stopping at Quick Trip. You guys know that. And they have a Quick Trip Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Every sip gets you closer to the summit, and you have through August 17th. You play every day in the Quick Rewards app, and you can score bonus plays with every eligible item you grab. You can get that ice cold Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Propel, so much more. You get a chance at $5,000 every week, and it reaches the penultimate prize of $250,000. Get climbing now in the Quick Rewards app. Plus, 99 cents a loaf for Quick White Bread, 73% lean ground beef for just $2.99 a pound, and I got Simply Shredded hash browns for $1.99 for a 20-ounce bag. Take advantage of everything Quick Trip has to offer, like rewards on every purchase and ordering ahead. Your Quick Trip will see ya next time.
Wayne Laravee, the voice of the Packers, scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Balaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Morgan Wallen Live. the Problem Tour 2025. Historic 2 consecutive shows at Camp Randall Stadium, Saturday, June 28th, and second show added June 29th with Miranda Lambert and Ella Langley. On sale now at uwbadgers.com.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses.
Morgan Wallen, Live 2025.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025. Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Catch the feeling of Hawaii at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison with our 100K Luau promotion. The festivities take place on Saturday, June 28th. Starting at 4 p.m., 24 winners will each select a cash prize between $1,000 and $10,000. Then at 7:30, one grand prize winner will take home the big one, $30,000. We're giving away a total of $100,000 at this luau. Aloha. Put on your Hawaiian shirts and head over to
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
This is Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Help us take home the gold and vote for us every day at madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch. Jason has the day off. And it is our pleasure now to be joined by the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrivee, our brother in Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Some great commercials with Wayne.
Joins us on Wilde and Tausch. Wayne, how you doing?
Good, guys. How you doing?
We're doing fantastic. Wayne, how much great feedback do you get on those Pella commercials? Because I know Jason and I got a ton, and I know you down in the Milwaukee area. Do you get the same great feedback that we do?
You know, it's amazing, Tausch, the acting that goes into those. As you well know, you, Jason, and I are thespians by nature, and I'm just amazed that we haven't gotten more recognition from a critical standpoint for the acting aspect that goes into those commercials.
I was thinking the same thing. I know we're very popular amongst the people, but in the the stuffy, critical stuff, we haven't seen those.
You want a Wisconsin Broadcasters Award next year?
I think part of it is, Wayne, the fact that Jason took so long and we had to wait there. I think that maybe set us back a page. That might be why we're not getting the critical acclaim that we deserve.
But Tausch, when they ask us to walk and talk at the same time, now that's acting. You know what I mean?
I do.
We should be covered by AFTRA.
It's tough to argue with that. All right, Wayne, we always love your insights. You're up there all the time, and as the voice of the Packers. What did you make of, I guess, this offseason so far and how Brian Gutekunst approached it? Because from my perspective, I think everybody that you talk to and that we talk to on a daily basis, it was pass rush, It was wide receivers, and then what was going to happen with Jair. And I thought it was really interesting that Goody really addressed the offensive line, obviously with Banks, and then moving Elton, and then opening up those jobs for competition. And maybe we underestimated that part of it. What did you see this offseason?
You know, Tausch, I think you're right on target with that. That's the way I felt about it when I saw the way the draft played out. When I saw one of the major acquisitions in free agency was the offensive guard, Aaron Banks from San Francisco. And it told me, as I saw this unfolding in March and April, it said, hey, you know, they didn't think they had enough on that offensive line. Now, obviously, when they had the injuries in the Philadelphia playoff game, the kids they brought in just didn't make it that day. They're still in camp, and they still have a chance to be good players someday, but they weren't quite ready in that regard. So they understood, okay, the depth wasn't where it needed to be, and frankly, we need to get a little bigger and physical on this offensive line, and that's the transition you're seeing now. It's not just about Josh Jacobs. It's about the offensive line. It's about cornerbacks who may not be the greatest pure cover corners, but cornerbacks who are tough, and if there's a running back barreling downhill around the line, that cornerback's going to come up, and he's not going to find a place to hide. He's going to find a spot to hit that running back and take him down. So that's the kind of toughness you're seeing put into this Green Bay team. It's reminiscent of what Shanahan has been doing in San Francisco for the last 5 years.
Talking with Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, here on Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. Wayne, I haven't talked with you since the NFL draft took place in Green Bay. Did you get a chance to get up to Green Bay to experience it? And what did you think of what the Packers decided to do with two of their first three picks being wide receivers this year?
Yeah, again, there's another situation where you say, okay, you understand the first-round pick, but they also doubled down on that in the third round with Savion Williams. So it's interesting because I think that what Brian Gutekunst was saying, my impression as that draft unfolded, and yes, I was in Green Bay, and it was a great experience for everybody involved. But the thing that it said to me was Brian Gutekunst said, hey, listen, we've got a bunch of receivers, a couple of whom are going to be free agents after this year and a couple more after the next year. So they had to replenish in it. And again, the draft is always a cross between the present and the future. We, in the media, we as fans want to see immediate impact from a draft choice. And most of the time, that's not why the kid was picked. He's picked because they see upside down the road. And I think with these wide receivers, that's part of it. Now, we expect to see Williams on some gadget plays. And certainly we expect to see Golden make plays as a rookie. But really, I think those selections were because the Packers know where they're going to be a year and 2 years from now.
We've talked a lot on today's show about great debuts in Wisconsin sports history. What would it take for Matthew Golden to have a fantastic debut season overall over these 17 games in the regular season to be considered among some of the best rookie seasons that you've seen calling the games for the team?
Well, I was thinking about this morning, Jesse, and there are exceptions. Okay, Justin Jefferson, when he walked on the field as a rookie, was a star. Jamar Chase, there are others that were just instant stars. But most of the time, it takes wide receivers a while. It takes them a year or two before they really blossom. Matthew Golden's going to get an opportunity early on. There's no doubt about that. He has talent and the ability and the speed that they're looking for. I think, a good season for him, I'd say 50 catches, averaging over 14 yards a catch, maybe 6 or 7 touchdowns. That'd be a hell of a year for a rookie receiver in this offense.
No doubt about that. I think we'd take that right now. Wayne, when you look at this defense, and the discussion on pass rush has been prevalent. I'm sure you've heard a lot about that. How much better do you think this group can be with really the acquisition of Hobbs and then the expectation that Edgerrin Cooper is going to make that huge jump? Where do you see this defense? Because I thought they made a great jump last year. Now, Jeff Hafley, they have another year. They understand each other better. Are you looking at another big jump, and where do you think that's going to come from?
It's going to be interesting, Tausch, because, when you look at the Packers defense, very solid against the run a year ago. pretty good against the pass, except, and Hafley mentioned this after the season, he would have liked to have seen a little tighter defense late game situations. When the game's on the line and Minnesota was able to move the ball, game on the line in Detroit, and the Lions, Jared Goff was able to move the ball against their defense. Those are things that you look at and you say, okay, that's maybe a step where they can make a little bit more improvement. Their top three cornerbacks, I think, are good. I agree with Brian Gutekunst on that. Beyond that, they've got an experience in that core. I thought losing T.J. Slayton was big in terms of run defense. They've got a kid that you probably haven't heard much about from Georgia by the name of Nazir Stackhouse. And he's a big guy. They brought him in, I think, defensively to maybe play a role as early as this year against the run. We'll have to wait and see. But those are the areas I'd be a little bit concerned about. Your depth at cornerback if you have injuries and stopping the run, without T.J. Slayton in there.
All right, Wayne, starting with Detroit and the fact that they have owned the division the last couple years, but they lost their coordinators. They lost their center. Where do you kind of look at the pecking order of this NFC North? Because I think it's time Green Bay recaptures that. Is that something that obviously they can do it? How do you see the NFC North after last season going 1-5 in that division? That obviously has to be the top of line when it comes to setting goals for this upcoming season for this team.
You know what's scary about last year in the division? If Carl Brooks gets a manicure the week before the Bears game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how close it was. And this division, Bears are going to be a better football team this year. They've acquired enough talent to be that better team. I think Detroit's still the team to beat on paper, and we're talking about paper until we snap the ball in September. We're just talking about paper here, but the Lions have talent. They have blue-chip players all over that defense and offense, and that's the team to beat in the division. I think Minnesota, the question mark's quarterback. Well, they've got a heck of a head coach who is an absolute quarterback whisperer. And to be honest with you, if I were a Viking fan, and I'm not, I don't think I'd be nearly as worried about the quarterback as people on the outside seem to be. Because I think that's a great system. He has the best skill position people around him in the division. And Minnesota, I still think, is going to be a force. I think Chicago, as I mentioned, is going to be better. And the Packers, everything, in my opinion, is contingent upon they've been the youngest team in the league in the last 2 years, okay? So now is the time for the second, third, and even fourth-year players to become players. 3 or 4 of them have to become blue-chip players if the Packers are going to get to where they need to go.
Who do you think would be those players that you're expecting to become blue chippers?
Edgerrin Cooper is one right away that I would think is a blue-chip kind of player. I think Zach Tom is, and the reason Zach Tom doesn't get more credit around the league is because Penei Sewell is at right tackle in Detroit in the NFC, and there's nobody in that class. But Zach is very, very good. I think you need a wide receiver to bust out in this offense. Could it be Matthew Golden? Maybe. I don't know. It could be Jaden Reed. It's not often, though, that a slot receiver is one of those kinds of guys. But those are some of the guys on this team that I think have a chance. A lot of people keep telling me Evan Williams, because of his smart, instinctive ability in play, has a chance to become a blue-chip player. You know that Xavier McKinney already is one. On that defensive line, I would like to think Kenny Clark, if he could return to form, might be that kind of a guy.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary, there's a bunch of them. Where would you put Jordan Love? You've seen it up close. Obviously, the second half of his first year as a starter was dynamite. One of, if not the best player at that position in that part of it. And then last year, dealing with the injuries, and there's a lot of things that maybe didn't go right, but he was still good. What does he need to do? Because they added offensive linemen, they added wide receivers. How big of a year is this for Jordan Love?
I think it's everything, Tausch. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Bill Walsh said, you don't know about quarterbacks, okay? You don't know about quarterbacks until they've started for 3 years. Not 1, not 2 years, 3 years. Now, we went off, all of us went off on Jordan Love after the Dallas playoff game. Everybody's going off on Jaden Daniels. But Love is just entering his 3rd year. This is really where you find out what you've got. And I got to tell you, through the adversity of last year, I probably saw more in Jordan Love last year than I did with the finish of the year before. Now, did he ever play? Even before the injury, was he on the level he was the year before at the end of the season in the playoffs against Dallas? No. But he persevered through some tough injuries. I thought by the end of the season, he was certainly not the red-hot quarterback we saw at the end of the previous season, but he was still very good. And I think that what they decided was, hey, listen, put a few more pieces in place, a little better protection of the offensive line, although it was good last year, but get that up to snuff. We're running the football. We're a power running team now, but they're not loading too much on the quarterback. But the other thing is the mechanics. And I got to tell you guys, watching him in this mini camp, seeing him earlier in the OTAs, this is he's playing, he's performing. He looks better to me now than he did last year at this time. I think his accuracy is much improved. He's very smooth, very confident. He's taken a leadership role on. I think he's going to have a big year. But this is the year where you find out what you have with this quarterback.
Talking with Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers. Excited to hear all that analysis from Wayne. One last question for you before you go, Wayne, here this afternoon. October 26th is going to be pretty fun. Packers, Steelers, the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love matchup. How much fun is that going to be?
Well, on the surface, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope everybody's healthy and plays. You know?
That's what I thought, too.
Listen, we're talking about a game. How many months away is that game?
I would have put Wayne. I don't know about you.
What shape they'll be in?
I would have put that game, I think, mid-September, making sure. But there is going to be a lot of juice from everybody involved for that game. Watching Rodgers go against Jordan Love.
It's going to be reminiscent of, remember when Favre came back to Lambeau Field with the Vikings, or even that first Vikings game when Favre, that Monday night game against the Vikings in the Metrodome. It's going to be that kind of an intensity, I think.
Yeah, we can't wait for that. Can't wait for football season. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers, thanks so much for carving out a little time in your day to join us today. Wayne, we really appreciate it.
Great being with you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, joining us on Wilde and Tausch.
Boy, he sounds a lot more optimistic about Jordan Love than some other people.
Really exciting based on what he just shared. That's got me fired up for football season. Can't wait. Training camp July 23rd. I'm feeling good after hearing what Wayne Larrivee had to say. Speaking of which, it's Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. We will wrap up the show rejoined by Jason Wilde. That's coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fly to right. Frelick is there. Dives! He caught it! He's all over the place.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Toscher here, and even though it's Friday the 13th, I'm still feeling good heading into Father's Day weekend on this Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Stick around as we share some of our favorite feel-good stories of the week to close out today's show and to start the weekend right. This weekend may be for dads, but good luck trying to get out of an upcoming paint project any other weekend of the year. Instead of trying to take on that burden yourself, get started now by trusting the pro painters at Hallman Lindsay Paints. Get connected with the pro painter best for what your project calls for by stopping into any Madison area Hallman Lindsay location. And remember, from summer heat to winter blizzards, Hallman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why it's truly Wisconsin's best paint. Hallman Lindsay, great paint, great people. Check them out at hallmanlindsay.com. And stick around to celebrate Feel Good Friday on Friday the 13th, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Former Badger Nick Herbig now teammates with former Packer Aaron Rodgers. While on the other side of the ball, Herbig expressing his excitement to be in the same locker room as the 4-time MVP, audio courtesy DK Pittsburgh Sports.
You'd be lying if you said it don't feel a little different. You know, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's 4-time MVP. He won a Super Bowl. He's done at the highest level. He's seen the highs of the highs and the lowest of the lows. So just having a guy like that with his experience, and even though, like, I'm not a quarterback, you know, just having a guy like that around the team is awesome.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
It's a showdown in the National League West. The San Diego Padres at the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Saturday is game day, yeah.
Coverage begins Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch. Painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind.
Wrapping up the show and our week with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints on Wilde and Tausch. Due to some time constraints, Jason unable to join us for the final segment as originally intended.
Still trying to find Sid's ball, I think.
We will hear from him coming up on Monday, recapping the golf tournament and everything else that he had going on throughout the course of this weekend. So before we get to Feel Good Friday, Riley Yauk does need to draw. This is going to make someone feel good. Our final Vortex rangefinder along with the swag bag. This is the last rangefinder we have in the
I'm
arsenal.
I'm going to predict Thursday as a dub.
A lot of chips in that helmet.
Here we go. You can see on the video stream, eyes are closed. This is legit. Oh, it is Matt in West Bend.
Matt
Tuesday.
Tuesday's Canada trivia contestant. Matt in West Bend is the final winner of the rangefinder from our friends at Vortex Golf. Swag bag still to be given away for the next few weeks. That's still a great prize pack. That rangefinder just made it extra special for our winners over the last month. My Feel Good Friday, Tausch, is our teammate at ESPN Beaver Dam, Wally Lukashinsky.
He's a mover and a shaker down there.
The Dam
Bowling
Sports Show.
Awesome.
And Riley actually was up co-hosting with Wally yesterday on the Dam Sports Show on ESPN Beaver Dam. A special occasion this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Wally, they're always making wagers and doing crazy things. He did his bowling bonanza back in the winter. They've talked about some other challenges, running steps at the football stadium and whatnot. Today, live on the air at 4 o'clock on ESPN Beaver Dam, he'll be joined by Beaver Dam star golfer McKenna Nelson, no relation, and he will be getting his head shaved.
Oh, wow.
And donating the hair to charity as part of a wager he and Corey Sparks had on the Damn Sports Show.
Me or does Wally lose every wager he's in?
Doesn't win many of them.
No,
it
on
would
the
appear.
show yesterday, me and Wally had a lot of fun, and Hunter Vaughn calls in every Thursday. And I asked Hunter, what's one thing I should know about Wally? Hunter says he loves pain. Don't bet with him. He'll make a ridiculous wager, and he is inevitably going to lose.
Mickey from Rocky would love Hunter.
Yeah.
Would love Wally.
Wally Lukashinsky. Again, tune in today, 4 o'clock, the Damn Sports Show on ESPN Beaver Dam. You can watch it on the Daily Dodge TV YouTube stream as well if you want to see Wally get his head shaved live on the air with our teaming up at ESPN Beaver Dam. That's Feel Good Friday for this week. Jason Wilde will return on Monday. Special thanks again to Wayne Laravee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, for joining us. And thanks to all of you who chimed in with your great debuts in honor of The Miz last night on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers. Tausch, happy Father's Day to you and the family.
Take care. Be good.
In the words of Jason Wilde, that's it. Have a great weekend. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free